evening and welcome to the Telstra Dome in Melbourne on what's a very cold day. Doesn't matter, the roof is on and ready to go for this quarter-final clash in the Wizard Home Loans Cup between the Kangaroos and Melbourne. It's going to be an absolute beauty tonight too. Looking forward to this game, Gary Lyon, as both these teams could do with the money, who couldn't, and it's $200,000 on offer for the winner of the Wizard Home Loans Cup.
No question about that. Good evening, Ed. It shapes as a wonderful contest. Two teams that had great first-up wins last week. Under Dean Lately, the Kangaroos were wonderful, and Melbourne here were great. And I like this side. They've got big heart and have had a big heart for a long time.
They certainly have. The Kangaroos defeated Essendon last week by 62 points, and congratulations to Dean Lately getting a victory in his first game as coach of the Kangaroos. Big Porter leading them out. Jess Sinclair. And, well, as I said, they're an impressive-looking bunch. A lot of people predicting the Kangaroos might slide down the ladder, but I think people have been doing that for the last decade. Well, it's the Reds versus the Blues tonight because the grand old flag and the former captain, Gary, what do you think of your old boys?
Oh, no, they're very happy with their first hit out last week. There are a lot of faces coming back to footy that we haven't seen for a while. Guy Rigoni was one of those. They've got two premiership players from Essendon in Chris Heffernan and Gary Moorcroft that just had a bit of steel. And, of course, David Neitz had a very quiet night last week. He'd be keen to get amongst it tonight.
Melbourne defeated Richmond by 43 points last week. The winner, of course, tonight goes on to play Adelaide at Amy Stadium next Saturday night in the semi-final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Two new players into the Kangaroos. Daniel Wells. Daniel Wells is one of the most eagerly recruited players in recent years. A gun young player. Looking forward to seeing him. And big bad Leroy Brown.
Two boys from the West, and you're right, Wells is massive raps. And that man, Lee Brown, where's the number 16 Guernsey like another Brown? Jonathan for Brisbane. I think they'd love to see him play in that similar mould at centre half forward, crash into a few packs, create a bit of space for all those little fellas. And there he is, beautifully done by those two boys. Daniel Wells makes it easy for us, gets in shot as well. He's a very good player.
As Dennis would say, as if on cue. What about this bloke? He was on fire last week, Lee Harding.
Yeah, he kicked 5 last week, kicked 5-3 in actual fact, and was given a fair bit of room to move in. A bit of a change in the way they played, the Kangaroos, prepared to chip the footy around short, and he benefited from it. He's got great leg speed, will get on the end of a lead, and he converted pretty impressively.
Let's have a look at the Melbourne lineup now. And by the way, Lee Harding, he's dropped a bit of conditioning, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He looks fit. Melbourne, they're the new names in the Melbourne side. Moorcroft and Heffernan, as we mentioned, the premiership players. Jamar played in the ruck, which allowed Jeff White to go forward, gives Coach Neil Danaher some more options up in the forward half. And he was impressive last week, Jamar, against Ottens and Stafford.
Some of the judges, the good judges of young players, reckon Jamar a very good prospect in the last 12 months. 19 years of age, 95 kilos and 197 centimetres. He's a big lump of a lad. This bloke, Gary, you're a huge rap for him.
This bloke is Cameron Bruce. Now, he played for Australia over in Ireland, Eddie, and impressed everyone. He was runner-up in the best and fairest last year. He's come from nowhere over the past 3 or 4 years and has, I think, established himself in the elite bracket. And that's a big call, but he was super last week against Richmond. He's got wonderful endurance, can run all over the ground. The first super goal ever in the history of football was kicked last week by Paul Wheatley. That young man there is a thumping kick of the footy. Jeff White marked the ball inside 50. That would have been a 6-point goal. Was able to play on to Wheatley, and I can assure you, he kicked 2 super goals last week, and I can assure you the Kangaroos won't allow him any space when the football is in or around the 50-metre mark.
Oh, they'll be looking out for him, number 31, a reasonably famous number down there at Melbourne too, the old number 31 of Ron Barassi. And Wheatley's got the goatee going, he's looking the part. We're all set for a big game tonight between these two teams, the Kangaroos and Melbourne. Just there he is lining up just before we go to the break and get set for this second round clash in the Wizard Cup. AFL practice matches today. The Bulldogs, what about that? A big win over Port Adelaide. Mark Williams said the Port Adelaide side were pathetic. Nathan Brown kicked 7 goals. Chris Grant at centre half best on ground. For Carlton, Favola kicked 3. Houlihan kicked 3. Ratton was best on ground, and the Blues are punching the air at Coffs Harbour with a 40-point win over Sydney. And more bad news for the Bombers, beaten by 14 points by St Kilda. Hasn't yet to win a pre-season match of any description since the Ansett Cup Premiership in 2000. And Stephen Milne kicked 3. Rob Harvey, this is the big news, 33 possessions, best on ground. And some good news for the Bombers. Dean Solomon got through his first game after a knee reconstruction last week. There you go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's the quarterfinals of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. It's Melbourne and the Kangaroos. I'm pumped. How about you, Gary?
Settle down, Ed.
Let's get into it. Put these back, and we're right into it right after the break.
Trying hard to fill the emptiness, the peace is gone, left the puzzle undone, and I go
Welcome back. and they were the emotional scenes last week. Russell Robinson, highly emotional after a first-round Wizard Cup match, you might think, but that's Brooke Ost, his girlfriend. Her last game watching Russell in action before becoming a flight attendant with Emirates Airlines, and Russell and Brooke sharing a tear. A poignant moment. We'll come back to Gary Lyon and Gerard Healy, two Melbourne greats. There's Russell, no tears tonight. Michael Roberts has broken a few hearts over the years. Robbo?
Oh, you know how to pump up a bloke, Ed, but not the most picturesque Coventry end. They had 31,000 here for the Kiss Symphony. It's flattened out. It looks a hell of a lot worse up in the grandstand, but there's a few ridges the players have to look after. Saw training during the week with both camps. Neitz was rested. Uze back after that Achilles. But the big news out of the Kangaroos was that Sav Rocker, was picked in the side and has been left out because of Achilles' problem, Doc.
Yeah, he's got problems with both Achilles. He's having trouble on the right, now on the left. Probably could have played, but North are taking a very conservative approach with Lee Colbert and Matthew Burton both available to play. But they've left them out tonight just as a precaution as well. But good to see Uze back for Melbourne.
Thanks, boys. To open proceedings tonight, calling the action, Brian Taylor.
Demons to the right of screen. Jamar in the ruck. Porter, he's a direct opponent. Handball Stevens over the ball as usual to start the game.
Hello to Gerard Healy joining us tonight. G'day, Gerard.
Good on you, Ed, and it should be a pretty good game. Saw the Kangaroos in Canberra last week. They were most impressive, but a few sides have impressed more than the Demons in the opening match of the Wizard.
Scrappy start. Players trying to make some sort of progress out of the centre. Both sides switched on. We saw the Kangaroos last week and they were ready to play. The reason they beat the Bombers, they came with all the necessary requirements. Have a look at this. Players converging. Plenty around the ball, plenty want it.
Gary, old Melbourne captain there was very emotional scenes last week.
Well, it's an emotional game, Eddie, and it brought tears to my eyes for different reasons.
Ball up, Porter, down, Stevens. Never quite sure whether you're serious sometimes, Gary. Ball high into the Kangas forward 50. No one able to grasp an opportunity on that occasion. Here they go, Williams for the Demons, straight down the corridor, which is the preferred way here. At Colonial, almost the mark there by Robinson. Not paid. Play on calls the umpire. Moorcroft working hard, but make peace nicely out of defence.
He does it beautifully. Out to Jess Sinclair. Has one bounce, two now as he runs towards centre wing on the outer side. Make it three and he can keep going. He's run his full measure now, gets the fourth bounce in, tries to go around, caught one high. Umpire said play on, you should have got the handball out. Eventually it spills. Here's Harvey running into the open goal for the Kangaroos. And he puts it right through the middle for the first one of the night. Good play, Jess Sinclair. Good finishing, as expected always, from that man, Brent Harvey.
Well, Brent Harvey was most impressive in Canberra last week, and he forms a very formidable midfield when you throw in Shannon Grant, Adam Simpson, two outstanding players, the captain in Stevens and Brent Robbins. They have got a great running combination through the middle, Gary.
They got good legs, and the reason he had to carry it so far was that they employed what we have now become known as the Pagans paddock, if you like. They had no one deep in attack. Lee Harding has started on the wing, the 5-goal hero from last week, playing on Cameron Bruce. So I don't reckon the Melbourne hierarchy would have anticipated that.
Harvey, 2 goals last weekend, 1 already. The Demons out of the middle of the ground, looking to gain some sort of control there as Wheatley, unable to do so, will have another ball up.
Big job for Shannon Watt playing on David Neitz, as you said in the opener, Gary. Not a lot of the ball last week, but a chance for Shannon to grab a position that is available in the Kangaroos' defence.
Petrie knocking the ball down, getting on the end of it. McDonald, Sinclair cut it off. He's up and back into the action again. Simpson out wide, the best and fairest winner from last year for the Kangaroos, takes a bounce. Kick is beautifully placed and has been marked there.
Play on.
Nicely by Motlop. Umpire calls it play on, as did Gerard. The centering ball, though. Plenty of time for this man who was absolutely brilliant last week. And he's got another opportunity here, Lee Harding.
Well, I mentioned he lined up on the wing. Cameron Bruce lined up on the wing, and they both started out there. Now, whether he will push forward and drift forward, well, remains to be seen. But on that occasion, he did run very hard forward and then was able to lead Bruce to the ball. So Cameron Bruce has got to identify as a dangerous opponent, probably play a bit tighter.
Lee Harding, 5 goals in the first round of the Wizard Cup, and he comes from 45. And this one's been tugged left, just scrapes through for a behind. So the Kangaroos lead it 7-0.
Well, he had a lot of shots last week. He had 10 shots at goal. He kicked 5, 3 and 2 out in the full league. So he's just getting the sights reorganised for this week.
Walsh coughs it up as another chance for the Kangas. Harvey over the top. Running onto the ball there for the Kangaroos was Jones. Umpire will come in and bounce some 30 metres out from the Kangaroo goal.
Thanks.
Walsh getting to the bottom of the pack there, redeeming himself. Umpire decides to throw it up. We saw some ordinary bounces at Darwin last night, Gerard.
Yeah, they were poor last week. Last night, Eddie, I'm surprised they continued to bounce it up. It was only going about 6 or 7 feet on occasions.
In the Adelaide win over the West Coast Eagles, the winner will play Adelaide, of course, next week at Amy Stadium. Here's a chance now for the Kangaroos again. The handball's flicked out from Petrie. Brown gets the handball going. Jones broke a tackle, then slammed it onto the boot, and he actually overcorrected. That was the hardest kick from that position. In fact, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Did all the hard work, didn't he? The big fellow, but a bit sluggish start from Melbourne. I think the ferocity and attack on the footy from the Kangaroos has just caught him on the back foot at the moment.
Travis Johnston, what a player he was last year, third and the best and fairest, and is one of the real superstars of the Demons lineup. Centering ball here, didn't quite reach the target. Jamar, though, for a big fella, able to fend off the Sinclair tackle and advance the ball forward. They fly. Robinson with a bit of a push from behind. Have a look at the Demons players run. 4 of them in a line. Picked up in the end by the faster Heffernan. Takes a bounce inside 50. And did not curl the ball right to left, just the minor score. The first for the Demons of the match.
Not a lot of sharing and caring between Robertson and Travis Johnson in who was going to go for that ball, because it was a soda.
Might have still had tears in his eyes, he couldn't see. The ball comes out. Porter takes the mark, brings it out to centre wing. This is good football. Simpson lays it off to Grant on his left foot. Wants to pick out a target. He goes for Brown. Up the line he goes. Brown got to the front. Was almost tripped over there. Umpire called play on. So Melbourne get the chance. The initial handball came out from Ferguson, another young player. Ends up with McDonald. He goes over the top. Demons have the ball on centre wing. This is Whelan, whose kick went straight down the throat of Porter at the fence of 50 for the Kangaroos.
Uze just about to come back on the ground for the Demons as well, as the Kangaroos maintain control through the midfield. David King, the spirited David King, what a player he has been for the Roos. 2 premierships since crossing from Port Melbourne. Kicks the ball out wide. Watt flies and marks. Point of the square at half forward for the Kangaroos, and already they look good.
A good run from Watt. Mark Porter has gone and covered his man David Neitz, so it gives Watt the confidence to run forward. It's a very good ploy that's underused by coaches.
Handball off to King. Had to work back from his non-preferred left side. Back on the right side, 60 metres out. Long ball to the square. Only a small there, but that's small in amongst 2 talls. Brent Harvey had marked and will line up for his second goal.
Peter Walsh is Brent Harvey's opponent. And Brent Harvey, what about this performance? He's got Jamar under the footy there. Now, Peter Walsh can't play off him that. He can't anticipate that the big fellow, although
I think you're entitled to anticipate it. Jamar may have got a glove on that one.
Yeah, yes, it's a fair comment. He got to be upper close.
Brent Harvey lines up, point blank range for the little fella. He's kicked his second.
Well,
so Harvey will have one that he'll brag for a long time and just say a good small man will always beat a good big man. Whelan gets it out. We'll go down to Robbo. There's been a bit of a change on the Melbourne lineup. We'll come to Robbo in a moment as Neitz tries to crash through. Sinclair's had a few touches already. Make peace. Flicks it out. Here's a chance for Heffernan under the pump. He gets it out to Neitz, who hadn't had a kick in the first half last week. He finally gets a disposal early in this match. It comes out to Thompson. Conceding some ground back to Whelan was Walsh. He's tackled a second time and gone. And the umpires have told us this year, no, he's paid the free kick to Melbourne. There's another trip. There's another free kick. So he'll go back. Robbo, while we're waiting.
I think, Gary, they must have changed that rule, because it looked like Anthony Stevens tripped him up by a hand around the foot. Now, that used to be an immediate 50-metre penalty.
I think you're right, Jared.
Whelan short to Robinson on the lead, marks it deep in the pocket for the Demons. So an opportunity here. They are very kickable at the Telstra Dome from deep in the pockets.
And important that a couple of other forwards get on the end of the footy early, because we saw a pass earlier from Whelan that was cut off by Porter. It was just so obvious they were going to go to Neitz. They've got to start directing some footy through the likes of Robinson and their other forwards just to take some pressure off their skipper.
32 goals, 28 last year for Robinson as he lines up and tries to bring it right to left, and he's done that beautifully, achieved it. The Demons have kicked their first goal.
Welcome back with the Kangaroos leading by a goal. We'll try Michael Roberts again. Robbo.
Yes, Ed, absolutely nothing wrong with Travis Johnson. He had a bit of a walk around the half-forward line, no injury there, so it could have been a disciplinary reason. Cameron
Bruce's kick inside. Here's a chance now. And having a flying shot is Moorcroft. He's pulled it to the right, though, and through for a behind.
Russell Robinson on his own in the goal square too, and just letting Gary Moorcroft know about that.
Archer receives down the middle. Look at the kick. It was beautiful, Jared. Shannon Grant on the end of it. Now the kick forward. Mark almost taken by Jones. Stolen, they're away. Ferguson out wide. Kicks the ball. Bruce, 50. Heavy knock. He's okay.
Just going back to that kick-out plan, Gary, that was outstanding the way that Shannon Grant knew exactly where the ball was going. He started on the City side, ran to the middle of the ground, and the disposal from Archer was perfect.
Is that 50 metres or just a free kick?
It's pretty late. Eyes not on the footy.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, ball in the hands of Cameron Bruce. Kick long. Two Kangaroo defenders here in the ladder. Baird, who played a solid game for the Roos last week at Manuka Oval, has marked deep in defence. The bounce, assistance from Harvey, so he's doing it at both end, Harvey. 2 goals already, and he's down at full back on that occasion. Mark has been taken by Heffernan with some attention from Digby Morrell. Doesn't mind dishing it out, I might say. Heffernan looking for the short ball. The lead was on. Missed his intended target in Aaron Rodgers. Picked up by the Roos defence, and Mark has been taken by Motlop.
So Baird hit the target on that occasion. Took a little bit too long the first time. But Motlop has the ball at half-back flank. He chips it into the centre of the ground. The go-to man tonight, it appears to be, is Shannon Grant. He handballs further afield. Away goes Baird again, up the centre of the ground. This time under pressure, and the mark was in fact Watt who took the ball up there, so we won't give Baird a bad rap on that one. Watt's kick turned over. Uze, listen to the crowd as he boots it forward. Neitz has to go against 2. Kept his feet. Ball spilled fortuitously for him. A flying shot towards the goal square is offline. It's punched away. Still in play now over the line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. Pete Larkins.
Yeah, Gary Moorcroft came up very sore from that last incident. Eddie's favouring the right leg pretty heavily. The physio talking to him. He's not moving well. They're just going to assess to see if they can leave him out.
Throw in the forward pocket for the Demons. Up they go. Neat's got the tap, but Shannon Grant was at the fall of the ball. Gets it back to his skipper and Stevens. Stevens across the face of goal. Gets it out wide. Here's Baird this time. Took a little bit longer to get rid of it. Just chips it forward. Chance now for Archer. He'll run straight at it. You know that. Archer looks up. Good kick too out wide. Beautiful kick in fact. And hits his teammate on the chest in Drew Petrie. Petrie chips it out in front. Lovely play. Beautiful kick, and King doesn't let him down. Strong hands in front of his face. And David King will line up from about 50. This will be a 6-point shot. And, well, Brian Taylor, he's almost a pseudo-member of the Full Forwards Club because there's no chance that he'll be passing this.
Absolutely not a hope, and you'll notice that not one player will offer the lead here.
And David King, though, very well drilled, Eddie. King has now finds himself with Cameron Bruce as the opponent. King just automatically went to full forward to take Bruce away from the middle of the ground where he's been so effective. They've been very selfless in this first 5 or 10 minutes. They identify who's in the best position, who can take a dangerous opponent somewhere else, and that's why he's at full forward.
Might get an explanation off the doc soon, because it appears that Stevens has come off under the blood rule, and we might just get an explanation of the new blood rule this year when we get the opportunity, as King lines up for goal. Some 40 metres out, 45 perhaps, not a lot of angle about it. Kick on its way, beautifully weighted kick. It's just the minor score. So the Kangaroos missing there. And just the minor. Williams in the back pocket for the Demons is marked. Kick on its way. Bruce doing it all. Both ends at the moment. Look at the dummy. Did it nicely. Out wide. They work it now. Here the Demons in numbers. McDonald's kick cut off by Makepeace.
The Makepeace on centre wing with the Kangaroos leading by 6 points. Looks up. A lot of short leads. Just the 15. No, it wasn't, said the umpire to Sinclair. The 1-2 working beautifully for Makepeace, who kicks to the corridor. Nice kick and a good mark there by Harding.
Oh. I think you'll have a crack at this one, Ed.
This will be a 6-point attempt. The mark deemed to be just inside the 50. We'll go down to Pete Larkins in a moment for a understanding on the blood rule, because the umpires will leave them on this year. if there's a little bit of blood, but not too much. So Harding from dead in front will have to kick it 60 metres. He's gone for the big torpedo. It's a magnificent kick. Beautiful kick, and Harding has put it right through the middle for 6 points.
Well, Lee Harding succeeded with the big torpedo last week in Canberra as well, and that is what may become of the big super goal rule.
Pete Larkins, give us a little bit on, first of all, Stevens' condition and then why he's off the ground.
Yeah, Chris Heffernan's off for Melbourne, Ed, with a blood nose and blood on his jumper. So free-flowing blood means the umpire has to remove him, just the same as last year. And he's having attention to the blood nose, Chris Heffernan. But under the new rules, Ed, a little bit of blood or a little scratch that can be treated on the field quickly. The player does not leave the field and game does not stop this year. But the umpire has absolute discretion over the medical team to decide if they stay on or off.
12-point lead at the moment for the Kangaroos. They work the ball through Grant. This will be a delivery inside 50. Motlop on the end of it. A little bit of interference there. The umpire not paying it against Wheatley on that occasion. So the Demons pretty cool in defence. Kick not so good. McDonald got on the end of it. And they're away. Wheatley running through the corridor. They like to work it back inside. White didn't start on the ball. Kick from the centre of the ground forward. Robinson flew. Ground level wheel and overran the ball. Needed to get down a little lower and bend the knees. Sinclair extracts the ball outside that defensive 50. And Harvey has infringed in his attempt to mark over the top of Thompson.
No, give it to him now. Give it to him.
You can hear the advice from the umpire there that perhaps he should give it to him. Kick on the way. Leader's been supplied and the mark has been taken nicely on this occasion by Rogers.
Well, on that occasion, big Mark Porter again was going to be the thorn in the side of Melbourne. He'd set himself to block off the Neats lead, which meant there was a little bit of space for Aaron Rodgers to get into. So if you've got a multi-pronged attack, that man that drops back is not quite sure which lead to block off. And as a result, we've got a shot at goal for Melbourne.
A kick to get it back to a goal difference from Aaron Rodgers. Kick on its way. And have a look at that. Beautiful.
Wizard Home Loans Cup second round match. The Kangaroos lead by a goal with just over 4.5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. The ball spills out the back for the Kangaroos. It's picked up by Robbins, who kicks inside the 50. Oh, look at that, Bruce over the top of the play. Couldn't quite pull it down. Free kick for a high tackle will go the way of the Demons, so the advantage is played. Lee Brown just letting the Demons defence know that he's around. In the meantime, it's been taken by Archer on centre wing. Over to Harvey, who's been very busy. 2 goals already. This is his 4th disposal. He goes out wide. It's a good-looking kick, and he finds Brown up on his feet quickly. He thumps it long up to the goal square. Morell's back there for the Kangaroos. Hits the ground. Motlop flicks the ball out. Good play. Jones, little underground. That was magnificent vision. Harding for goal number 2. Puts it through. That was great play.
Talk about presence of mind in footy, and these are the things that you can't measure on a stat sheet, but some players can do things instinctively, and on that occasion, there's a couple of really good examples of players that just know what the game's about. The first one here, going to be tackled, but decides to bang it on the boot, saw a little bit of space there for Lee Harding, and he was able to register a goal. So, I mean, that's invaluable football knowledge that can't really be coached. It's a heat-of-the-moment thing, and it was a great result.
Let's go down to Doc Larkins at boundary level.
Yeah, Brian, Gary Moorcroft up and about at the moment, having had a bad cork on the right thigh. They've iced him up and stretched him up. He's just trying to jog the boundary at the moment, but not moving as well as he needs to. Chris Heffernan still struggling with the blood nose. They've got him lying down. They're trying to stop the bleeding.
12-point lead to the Kangaroos. Brent Harvey, Whelan ran straight at it. Shoveled out the handball. Uze, normally very good by foot, has missed this time. Just the minor score. And the rule allows the Kangaroos to get the ball straight back into play. Sinclair already in this game doing very well with 6 possessions, the leading possession getter on the ground. Take it across the face of goal. Always risky, but Baird heard the umpire there saying he'd kick the ball backwards, so it's play on, but didn't worry Baird. He wasn't pushed into kicking the ball too early. Out in front of Motlop, overran it. Wheatley, Whelan, able to gather the ball. He had prior opportunity there, and free kick Kangaroos.
That's what I was trying to say before. I picked the wrong free kick, though. The umpires have told us, Brian and Gary, this year they're going to be red hot on prior opportunity.
And it's a good, as long as it's communicated, the players are aware of it. I mean, it's just umpiring to the law.
What does it mean?
Well, if the player takes possession and he does have a chance to handball it or kick it and chooses not to, and then he's tackled in such a way that the ball's locked to him, that would be deemed to have been prior opportunity, and the free kick will be paid against him.
And particularly if a player sort of has a bounce or runs down the ground, then tries to take somebody on, you're going to lose it every time. Here's Archer, flicks the ball out. Teague, good-looking kick up the middle of the ground. He finds his teammates in Rawlings. He's going to go for a big super goal here. Is it a 9-pointer? No, just touched on the line by Bruce. And he's been cleaned up a couple of times, Bruce. I think the Kangaroos are using every opportunity to soften him up.
Well, that's the other thing about this Kangaroo side is they do go and protect their teammates, and they don't mind crashing into bodies, Jared.
The most impressive issue about Melbourne last week, though, Gary, was the physical nature with which they approached the game. I'm surprised that they've allowed the Kangaroos to dominate that area this early tonight.
Stevens, makepeace, free kick, iffy at best. Advantage paid. Brown with the long ball. Daniel Wells, the danger, tries to fly over the top. Was unable to do so. The tackle by Ward, very effective, putting Harding and the ball over the line. So a boundary throw in deep in the Kangaroos forward 50. We've played 21 3/4 minutes in this quarter already. Another opportunity just before quarter time for the Kangaroos. White controls the ball. Melbourne, Williams, upended, play on. Handball from Miller, came out wide. Uze now on the end of it. Melbourne out of trouble momentarily at least, although Robinson is 1-on-2. Tried one of his very familiar leaps. Went hard, real hard there, did Teague, dropping the ball, and he's hurt. Whelan.
Not a lot of sympathy there from the Melbourne players at all, Brian, was it?
Handball to Johnson. No, not at all. The lead by Neitz was supplied, and Johnson was able to deliver. Now Neitz will kick it from outside 50, but the man on the mark is just inside 50 with 1.25 minutes to go. This will only be a 6-point attempt, even though he'll kick it from beyond 50. The skipper, David Neitz, in his 4th year as captain of the Demons, comes in. Kick long to the goals. They fly in front. Robinson again. Just the minor score with just under 1 minute to travel in this first quarter.
Been very impressive at this part of the play, the Kangaroos, getting the ball back in very quickly and having players breaking free for the most important kick, which is the 2nd and 3rd kicks.
Rawlings to Morrell on centre wing. They bring it in. Still time for a score in this quarter. Plenty of Demons there. White was up. He got the hand of the ball to Wheatley to McDonald. From the true centre half back position, up the middle of the ground they go. Whelan has been very busy so far to Uze. Whelan's had 7 touches in this first quarter. Beautiful mark, and Neitz can go back and reload. Same angle, this time about 10 or 15 metres closer. And you think this time that David Neitz, as you can see, with about 15 seconds on the clock, will line up and kick the goal for Melbourne.
Much quicker movement of the footy, not allowing that player to get back into the hole in front of Neitz. And, well, he should have gone to school on that first kick only a minute or so ago. You'd back the reigning Coleman medalist on this occasion.
11 points of difference on the siren. In comes Neitz. Nice approach. He's right across his body, though, and kick it out of bounds on the full. He got nothing.
Very bumpy in his run-up, Ed.
He was, wasn't he, there? Yeah, at least it was interesting, Brian, because he was running straight at the goal, but, boy, he hooked it across. Anyway, out of bounds on the full, which means the Kangaroos take an 11-point lead in at quarter time. David Neitz yet to trouble the goal umpire with 2 flags, but the Kangaroos are 4 6 points, 3 1 points, a total of 27. The Kangaroos are 2-4-6, Melbourne rather, are 2-4-16. We'll be back after the break with more. The Kangaroos by 11 points in the quarterfinals of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Just in case you didn't think it was fair dinkum in the Wizard Home Loans Cup, some hard hits there, and the mail was that the umpires were very close, Gary, to maybe even laying a report against the skipper there, Stevens. In the meantime, we'll go down to Michael Roberts, who's with Dean Laidley, the new coach of the Kangaroos.
Well, Dean, what was the main message at quarter time? He started Lee Harding on the wing there. Was that to confuse Melbourne?
Oh, well, look, we thought we were sat on. I think that's what they used Williams to start him on the ground for. And look, I think we bombed away a few times there and they were able to run it out, and that's their strength. You know, we just really got to make sure we use the ball a little bit better.
You had a lot of the ball. You actually should be further in front, don't you think?
Yeah, well, look, I think we wasted a few opportunities. 4 goals, 3. You know, probably 5 goals, 2 would have been a better result.
Thanks, mate. Good
Thanks,
luck.
boys.
Good on you, Dean Laidley, new coach of the Kangaroos, doing well too because they lead by 11 points at quarter time. Gary, just before we go to the dock, it was interesting that we heard that there was nearly a report there on Stephens.
I think any player that takes his eyes off the footy these days, Eddie, and charges into another player is taking his playing life into his own hands.
Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, Gary Moorcroft sitting in the back row behind me, Ed, with a heavily corked thigh. He's got it heavily strapped as well, so not moving all that well. Chris Heffernan back on with a new jumper, new shorts after the blood nose.
Doc Larkins right on top of things down there on the interchange bench, and the Kangaroos at the completion of the quarter time break lead it by 11 points.
Tough night for the former Bombers. Heffernan with a split nose and Moorcroft off with a sore leg.
And the Bombers beaten again today, Ed, so they've had a tough start to the year, the Bombers. Ball up in the middle, Porter and White. Porter controlling it, McDonald trying to get on the end of it, who had a pretty good first quarter. Kick out wide. Matthew Whelan put his head over the ball, made a real attempt. So did Simpson.
I think the form of the Bombers was important last week. A lot of people came away from Canberra thinking that perhaps the Kangaroos had got them when the Bombers were flat and they weren't ready. But if they can get over Melbourne, who have been in great form early in the year, then I think their victory will be seen far more meritoriously.
Certainly consolidated, no doubt about that. Motlop over the top. King working hard. He was third man in the contest, won the ball. Handball was very clever to Sinclair, and his ball to Grant. Marked in the corridor.
Very keen to come inside the Kangaroos, to bring that ball back through the middle of the ground at every opportunity, and just gives them more options when they're attacking.
And right now the Kangaroos midfield are well on top.
They are indeed. Kick out wide over the top of Jones. The back of the pack, Hale chases, started the day on the interchange bench. His handball, not what should have been to Jones. Jones has looked lively up forward without being damaging so far. Picked up on this occasion by the Demons, and they work it out wide to Uze, who took a very good mark under great pressure. Centre wing here at Telstra Dome. Adam Uze, a very good player for the Demons. Their leading gatherer of the ball by hand and foot. Long ball to the open forward line, and a mark has been taken by Thompson.
That is a great kick. Don't underestimate how good that kick was. All the space was behind the player. Uze put it there. That is a special talent.
Thompson not going for the goal, just putting it to the square to Neitz, who fights off one, but Porter, the third man in, couldn't get rid of him.
He's caused some problems, Porter, filling that hole. They're going to have to go through Jeff White to try and drag Porter out of that defensive hole, making it very hard for David Neitz.
4 touches for Porter as Shannon Grant kicks out wide. Mark taken out there for the Kangaroos by Shannon Watt. Up the wing, Shannon Watt. Almost a push in the back to Uze. Here's Hale over the top. Digby Morrell on centre wing. Onto the left boot. Gives it a good roost too. Up towards Archer, backing into the pack. That will be certainly familiar territory for that man. Motlop on the ground. Drags it in now. Have to get rid of it. Got up to his feet. It was like the rubber man there, but ran into a wall of red and was caught. Prior opportunity, said the umpire. You're gone. Free kick to Heffernan. No, too high.
Pinned him for around the neck, Eddie, which I think is a very lucky call. He had plenty of cracks at getting rid of it. What we tried to explain earlier in the piece.
Bit of a duck of the head too.
He's a thumping kick of the footy too.
Well, there we go.
A little bit of action just to follow through on there too, on the ground.
Boys are fair income, don't worry about that. So Motlop lining up. This will be a 9-point chance.
It's nearly the first true punch thrown at the Telstra Dome in the last few months.
Would have been good on the undercard at the Costa Z, you reckon there, Jared? He goes for the big torpedo, and it turns into a very ordinary little one. Chance, though. Jones, who's been very good tonight until that moment. 1 point.
That is why the torpedo punt is worth having a go at. Because even if it doesn't come off, it generally falls into a dangerous spot and creates something out of nothing.
How long do the coaches let it happen? You saw what happened there as the Demons worked the ball back in. You know, sure, you can get the 9-pointer, but most can't kick the torpedo.
I'd still encourage it, Ryan.
What you just tell your boys, if it's either going to go post high or drop 30 metres short.
Yeah, and your chance, because the forwards are generally the ones who react quickest because the backman and the defender are trying to watch them.
Chris Heffernan doing a really good job on one of the best midfielders in the competition. Adam Simpson just 3 possessions at this stage, and he's trying to take Heffernan down to the full forward zone at times.
And that's why the 9-pointer is there, to encourage the players to kick the torpedo on the long goal, and it's doing just that. McDonald, leading possession getter on the ground with 8. Kick sideways to Walsh, who now goes directly looking for Neitz in front of Porter once again. Couldn't hold it this time. Ball spills loose. Handball comes out. Looking for Rogers. He was nailed by a couple of Kangaroo defenders. Neitz, Johnston, snap quick, -4.
Just too one-dimensional at the moment, the Melbourne forward line. David Neitz is going to make you pay if you get in front, as Mark Porter's left ribs just found out, but they're just getting blocked off too easily.
They've got to go, as we said earlier, to Jeff White, who's Porter's opponent, to try and force Porter to come out of that hole.
Great play by Neitz before, as you said there, Gerard. Really fixed up Porter, make him think twice about dropping back into that hole.
This bloke has had a cracking game, James McDonald.
Walsh there flicking it around at the moment. Comes out again to Whelan. Whelan's kick. Wheatley not getting much of it. Oh, look at that one. Makepeace has just been absolutely poleaxed by Whelan. Talk about the wrecker. The shoulder's nice and sore. We'll go to the dock in a moment. In the meantime, Simpson from outside the 50. It'll be 9 points if it gets there. It won't. Good play by Bruce over the line and out of bounds for a throw in. Dr. Peter Larkins.
Yeah, Troy Makepeace in the hands of the trainer's head after Whelan took him out very nicely, hip and shoulder. He's up on his feet. He's having a chat, getting his breath back. They've indicated that he's probably okay. The doc's just got there now.
Both had their head over the ball. Digby Morrell, Shannon Grant on his favoured left side, -score.
I think, Gerard, you mentioned that they're well on top, the Kangaroos in the midfield. 9 possessions to Whelan and 9 possessions to James McDonald. Underrated midfielders for Melbourne who just keep firing the footy. I don't think the Kangaroos are paying them enough respect at the moment.
No, but I think accumulating possessions is just one aspect of midfield play. It's getting the ball in direct, which is the more damaging.
Possession 10 for McDonald. Kick now inside 50. 1-on-2 again. And Makepeace did nicely in a defensive manner to work his way back into a tough situation.
I'll tell you a bit about that boy there, Troy Makepeace. Just got cleaned up in the ribs and then back into a pack. Some character and courage.
Indeed. So the Kangaroos at the moment controlling the game. Got about just over half of this second quarter remaining. And they are doing it very nicely, coached by first-year coach Dean Laidley. Kick, though, has missed everything. Mark has been taken by Brad Miller. Gives it out the back door. Johnston now able to go forward. Thompson, you heard the umpire, got rid of it quickly. Heffernan, be a valuable player for the Demons this year. Kicks out wide. Neitz, they're becoming a bit Neitz conscious in this second quarter. Kick on its way. I think it may have been Uze. Has missed everything.
Yes, it was Adam Uze. It'll be interesting with David Neitz. Russell Robinson's effectively the centre-half forward.
So 6 goals in the first quarter, none so far in this second quarter of football. Here's Makepeace, who will know he's played tomorrow morning when he wakes up. Gets it across to Porter. Porter now kicks up towards the centre wing, finds his skipper and Stevens. Good play. Held up nicely. His 5th disposal. He goes backwards, so it's an automatic play on. Makepeace keeps running, kicks it, sets it up. Nice mark taken by King. Could have taken off, decided to just stop. Inside the centre square area. Leads from Harding. He decides to go short. Morrell was the man, was going backwards. Coming forward, though, was Ferguson. Good play. Ferguson's kick is up to centre wing. Uze takes the mark. Held up there by Teague.
And Ferguson was one of the great highlights of the opening round of the Wizard. Seemingly a rookie coming from nowhere.
Here's the specialist. Wheatley, no, decided not to go for the 9-pointer. Pushing the back will go the way of the Kangaroos. Free kick going on this occasion to Johnny Baird.
Doing well on the key post, Baird and Watts.
They set Wheatley up nicely, didn't they, for the super chance, and didn't eventuate in the end. So now Archer through centre half-back in the half-back area. That's right. They corral him back into the middle. He wants to go wide on this occasion, which means he hasn't got a lot on offer downfield. And that's obvious from what has transpired. White, short ball, Uze starting to do some damage in this second quarter. Look at the kick, weighted brilliantly in front of Russell Robinson, who marks outside 50. So a 9-point attempt Not sure, Gary, that he would have the legs from beyond 50, would he?
Not from there, I wouldn't imagine, Brian.
And he's looking like he wants to get rid of the ball to someone in a better position. White's now dropped into the hole.
But much better signs there for Melbourne with the forward line putting pressure on Archer, which has effectively created this shot at goal.
Robinson, the lead of McDonald, and McDonald will mark. No, he won't. Bounced off the chest after the knee came forward. And a boundary throw in deep in the Demons attacking 50.
Wheatley off for Leoncelli and Wells on for Morrell. We've got 2 footies on at the moment. Take your pick which one you want. Look at that one.
Boundary throw in, Neats doing the ruck work at the back. Teague in there as well. No loose ball here.
I might be a chance to get a kick.
I think the Kangaroos thought it might have been a point, so they went and got their footy out of the bin, but it was actually out of bounds on the full, and that's how that eventuated.
Umpire in control, giving a little bit of advice, throwing the ball up. Porter in front. Did well. Really has to fire for the Kangaroos this year, Porter. Makepeace. Kick along the ground, partially smothered by Grant.
Don't forget at half-time tonight, Sam Newman joining us for the first time in 2003, fresh from being, well, let out of hospital. More on that one.
Really?
Sam has come to grief again. Full report at half-time. We'll get Dr. Larkins up there to tell us the latest on Sam Newman.
Wouldn't be a story attached to it, Ed, would there?
There'll always be a story with Sam in hospitals. Here's a chance now for the Demons. Ball flicks out, McDonald. Here's a chance for a 9-pointer. Won't be near it, though. Up towards the teeth of goal. Nicely judged by Stevens, the skipper. Kick wasn't too flash, though. Harding, under pressure, over the line, out of bounds for a throw-in.
They are getting smashed in their forward half, Melbourne, at the moment.
Yeah, they just haven't got the system. I think one of the keys to the whole Melbourne problem is Cameron Bruce. They just keep running him away from the ball, and I think somehow they've got to just come to grips with letting Bruce go to the ball, and if his man gets away, bad luck. Just back Bruce in.
Clayton was clobbered there by Travis Johnson. We'll have a bounce.
Bruce now one of the most talented and creative players in the competition. He just keeps getting better and better. And, well, I guess that's reiterated by the tactics of the Kangaroos tonight.
Good hit by Porter. Up the line, we'll have a throw in. Michael Roberts, boundary side.
Funny you say that, because Cameron Bruce was down in the goal square on young Wells. He's just been moved onto the ball on Simpson.
Well, it's a good move. You put him on Adam Simpson, and if he wants to take him away, well, that's an even Steven scenario.
Leoncelli out to Heffernan, did it nicely, kicks it up towards the full forward position. Coming out to take the mark on this occasion for the Melbourne side is the young player in Aaron Rodgers, who's kicked one so far tonight, originally from St George in New South Wales. He was picked at number 26 in the 2001 draft.
Great example there, Gary, of not having to drill the ball, the leading forward, just hang it there.
Beautiful ball for a forward to lead onto, Brian. Spoken like a full forward on that occasion, but it was great touch from Heffernan.
Inside 50s for the quarter. Melbourne 7, Kangaroos 3. So Melbourne have had plenty of it. Haven't been able to kick a major, but this man does. No, hits the post. 1 point. So the Demons move on to 18 points. Kangaroos 29, 11 points the difference. They play on straight away, the Kangaroos.
So no goals in this second quarter yet.
He's missing some set shots, Gary, that you'd expect to go through.
Yes, will pay the penalty at the end of the day, Melbourne.
Baird.
Not.
Deep in the Kangaroos' defence. A high ball, just looking for someone to be competitive up the line. Porter gave him that. The ball knocked down there. Petrie, kick forward. Brown gets down low and marks. Now Harding's got Pagan's paddock on, except Motlop will be confronting him. He goes looking for Harding in a good position. The ball drifting. Harding just judged it brilliantly. Ward flew high when he probably should have stayed down and contested with the body.
That's just reward for enormous workload and work ethic there, Gary, because Harding, he ran 100 metres, came back 30, went back again 30. He just wanted that football and finally came up with it.
Yeah, it was good work. Glenn Archer also positioned his body beautifully in that marking contest. He's a smart player. And I watched Wells as well, who was playing at full forward. He gave about 4 or 5 leads, and it just kept that defence honest, the Melbourne defenders honest, and presented in the end a 2-on-1 opportunity. This boy's kicking can be a touch iffy, Lee Harding.
Looking for goal number 3. Kick on its way. There it is. So the Kangaroos have got the first goal of the second quarter, and Harding's got 3.
So the Kangaroos, with 6 minutes left on the clock in the second term, get the first goal of the quarter. and sneak out to a 17-point lead. But it's Melbourne who go inside 50. A mark needed there from Neitz. It didn't quite come off. Makepeace hard at the ball. Robertson there for Melbourne. Teague applies the tackle. It spills out the back. Baird out wide. Clayton for the Kangaroos marks at defensive 60. Looks up the ground. Has a lead on centre wing. That's where he's going. Up towards Shannon Grant. Grant and Leoncelli. The bounce beats them both. Leoncelli under pressure. Good play by Watson. Watson looks up. 55 out. Runs in a bit of trouble. He's still got it. Kicks inside. Here's the danger man. Harding has kicked the last three for the Kangaroos from the boundary line. The handball was on, but he didn't want to give it over the line, out of bounds on the full.
Lee Harding, you can get excited when you kick goals, but Daniel Wells was inside and on his own, so just needed to keep his head in that situation. Actually, Watson was the player that came on and got himself into a little bit of a tangle, but kept a pretty wise and cool head about him.
Yeah, Watson, an 18-year-old from Rochester, picked at number 14 in the 2001 draft.
Ball into the pocket, Williams from the Demons. Will go out wide where Bizzle roams free. What a great asset he has been for the Demons since crossing from Geelong. One of their very reliable defenders. I think he only played 15 minutes forward for the Demons last year. Kick high, smothered off hands. Grant shrugs the tackle. Now able to look further downfield. The lead from Harding, who's working very hard and has a knack of judging the ball nicely when it's over the top, will line up for his fourth goal.
It's a difficult matchup, Jared, Lee Harding, because he's so quick. You just got it. Daniel Ward is a player with good leg speed, but then when it gets into this marking contest, it becomes a little bit of a mismatch. He's a very interesting proposition.
So Harding taking plenty of time, very deliberate. There's the reverse look at what confronts him. 3 goals following on from his 5 last weekend, and this one has missed all the timber.
I did say it could be a touch iffy, Jared.
He's kicked the last 3 goals for the Kangaroos and the last 2 out of bounds on the full.
He's having a good night, though.
Originally from Bannockburn, so let's hope he can mature just like the beautiful drop that comes from that neck of the woods down Geelong way. The Ward gets the kick out up to the defensive 50, clears the defensive 50 over the line, out of bounds for another throw in. Kangaroos 35, Melbourne 18. It's 7 points the difference, with just over 4 minutes left in the second term of this quarter-final match between Melbourne and the Kangaroos. The winner plays Adelaide in Adelaide next Saturday night at Amy Stadium for a spot in the grand final of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. Here's Bruce, gets a bad bounce. Under pressure from Archer to King. The old firm of the Kangaroos working beautifully. King doesn't give it up easily. Around the body, he spots up his teammate and does it beautifully. It's Robbins. Robbins now thumps it inside 50. Where's Harding? We'll be looking for him across the front of the pack. Almost a good mark taken by Jones. He got one in the back. And the umpires have said they'll be red hot on that this year. And true to their word, they've paid the free kick. And Jones will line up 25 metres out directly in front.
Let's have a look at this. Corey Jones went to the marking contest and just clumsy from Miller, I think it is, the Melbourne defender there. Just clumsy when you're 20 metres out from goal. You more so than ever need to display a little bit of caution. Not so on that occasion.
Jones lines up to become the second Kangaroo goal kicker of the quarter. Demons yet to get one. Directly in front here. The Coventry end of the ground at Telstra Dome. Beautifully done. Just over 3 minutes to go in the quarter.
If you feel guilty about snacking, try a Kellogg's K-Time Twist. A wheat and oat crust with a fruit-flavoured filling that's 97% fat-free. So you'll never have to feel guilty again. Well, almost never. Kellogg's K-Time. It's fast food, not junk food. Try the delicious range of real fruit flavours now.
Jamar back in the middle for the Demons. 3.5 minutes remaining. And doing the ruck work for the Kangaroos, Petrie. Archer tried to decapitate the Melbourne player. Quick hands beautifully by Thompson. Kick on its way. Free kick downfield. To go for the Demons because Rigoni got a bit of a nudge.
Now, is this a 9-point play? Free kick downfield from outside the 50?
Should be.
Should be.
Yeah, I think. Let's listen to the umpires.
9-pointer, okay.
There you go.
9-pointer.
You hear the umpires
Beautifully picked
confirming
up,
the
Edward.
9-pointer. And the shot on goal will take place directly in front. Robinson has got it. 25 metres out. Kick on its way. The first super goal of the night. That is the 20th super goal so far in this Wizard Cup series.
Now's the time to invest with as little as $1,000. AXA, ready when you are.
So Neil Danaher looks a little bit happier there. The first 9-pointer of the night as a result of a free kick downfield. And suddenly Melbourne looking a lot better. 14 points the difference. Makes a big difference, those 9-pointers. Good mark taken there under pressure.
They have hit some bodies, the Kangaroos, tonight. They have been inclined to hit in hard and not afraid to give the odd free kick away if it means they assert themselves in this game.
He's been good, Williams. He's had 9 possessions. Put Jamar into the hammer a little bit, but they've got it out now. Eventually Walsh flicks it out wide. This is Ferguson, who was very good last week. Took a while. Bizzle. Jamar took a mile too long. Good play. Wells gets it out. Jess Sinclair ducks inside. Beautiful kick out wide. Here's a chance now for the young fella and Watson. Takes it and he likes to have a bounce and a run, so he does both. He's just about run his measure. Kicks inside 50. Clayton at the front, flies high, couldn't hold the mark. Flicks back, he has a second go. Jamar all over the top of him. Umpire will bounce 40 metres directly out in front of the Kangaroo goal. We've played 21 minutes in this second term. Not much longer to go.
Ball up. Attacking 50 for the Roos. Danger here for the Demons. In amongst 3 Kangaroos. Eventually picked up by Robbins. His handball to Rawlings was suspect, but the kick further downfield to Watson was good. And Watson is marked. Inside 50. Ashley Watson started the night on the interchange bench. Waiting for something to transpire in the way of a lead. There it is. Grant marked strongly, but deep in the pocket.
Last year, Jared, the Kangaroos were ranked the #1 long-kicking team in the competition. Now, it's clear from what you told me last week and again tonight, they're more inclined to go short, and they also are prepared to run and carry the footy. They've had 17 bounces tonight, and the Melbourne team have only had 2. They aren't just going to blaze away to a spot. They will take their time and spot up a target.
Great opportunity here for the Kangaroos just before the half-time siren.
I think it means they're playing to their strength as well. If you haven't got Wayne Carey in the forward line, why would you kick the ball up high when you haven't got a dominant tall forward?
Shannon Grant looking to give the ball off to the lead, and he's found Corey Jones. It was very good. And a beautiful kick to match.
And that just sums up beautifully, because they've got forwards who've got really good leg speed in Jones and also Harding. And that was poor defence from Melbourne. The only dangerous spot on the ground that they could have got done on that occasion was out in front of goal, and they allowed that space to open up.
An opportunity for Corey Jones, second goal of the quarter, and the Kangaroos third. And it will be the last opportunity of this half, you would think. Kick on its way. It's there. He's kicked 2, Corey Jones.
12 marks they've taken inside their forward 50, the Kangaroos, which again backs up the argument. It's not not pumping ourselves up, Jed. It's just the story of the night. They've been pretty precise, and they've all presented well, and they've delivered the footy well.
I think if you're a Melbourne supporter, though, you're going to expect to see a different side in the second half. Melbourne were outstanding last week in their attack on the footy. Tonight they have been led to the ball by a Kangaroo side that have gang tackled them and beaten them in just about every department of footy. But there's a lot more left in this Melbourne team, and I think whilst it's one-sided at the moment, I can't imagine Neil Danaher would let it go much further like this.
And that'll do us for the first half of football in this quarter-final match between the Kangaroos and the Demons. And at half-time, it's the Kangas, as you just heard from Jared and Gary, showing a lot more dash And Panache leading by 20 points. 7 goals, 5:47 to 1:2:06:27. Michael Roberts is with David King on the bench.
I certainly am. And King, you came off with 3 minutes to go. You're all right. You had a few rubs on the legs there.
Yeah, mate, I think I'm getting old. I don't know. But I think everyone gets their time on the bench under Dean's style, and we're really enjoying it.
Now, the midfield is crashing and bashing through Melbourne. You'd be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, we are. I think that's, that's always been our style of play at North Melbourne. It's a tradition at the club, and we pride ourselves in how hard we are at the ball, and we've been on the end of a few though tonight as well.
We certainly have, and Whelan's done both of those. But Mark Porter, cross half back, blocked off a lot, taken a lot of attacks from the kickings. He worked well last week. He's done it again this week.
Yeah, he's very courageous. He puts his body on the line every time he can, and he loves playing, I think, the big Corsi, but it's very important for us in front of Needfield.
And you should be able to kick on. You probably should be a bit further in front than we did with the coach.
Yeah, we should be, but we're giving away a downfield, and we've made the most of the opportunities.
Good luck in the second half, Kingy.
Michael Roberts there with David King. The Kangaroos leading by 20 points, and that's good enough reason for Kangaroos members to get on the hotline. And we have people ready to take the phone calls now for both teams. The Kangaroos membership hotline number is 1300 36 32 31. Join as a member tonight for your chance to win a Motorola mobile phone or Village movie tickets at the Kangaroos. 1300 36 32 31. And for the Demons, well, they've shown plenty last week, and they're going to come out and give you a red-hot go in the second half. Get on the membership hotline now for the Melbourne Football Club. It's 1800 Demons or 1800 33 66 67. And I can tell you that memberships are the lifeblood of football clubs. Don't just turn up each week and give you money. The AFL knock off most of it. So get down there and get the memberships for the Kangaroos and the Demons. The Kangaroos leading by 20 points. We'll take a break. Gary Lyon will review the first half. Then Sam Newman, just discharged from hospital. What the hell has he done this time? We'll find out at half-time right after this. Round 2 action of the Wizard Home Loans Cup at the Telstra Dome sees the Kangaroos at half-time in front by 20 points over the Melbourne Footy Club. Goal scorers for the Kangaroos sees Lee Harding on fire with 3, Corey Jones a couple, and Brett Harvey 2. And for Melbourne, Russell Robinson's got 1 of each. Jared a super goal, and just the conventional sort, and Aaron Rodgers also a goal. Probably could have had a couple more. Aaron Rodgers had a few shots.
Well, I think it's been one of those days, Gary, with Lee Harding playing. You know, there's going to be plenty of opportunities, but he's got about a 50% return. But he's been dangerous, as have the rest of the Kangaroos outfits. He continues to work hard. You said it very early that he started up on the wing. It was a bit of a distracting ploy. He just leads hard and presents himself, and the Kangaroos are prepared to honour the leads.
Yeah, and the fine exponent of the torpedo punt, that was actually only a 6-point play, but the thing about him is he's not a conventional full forward. He will lead back towards goal, he will lead long and wide, and because he has got such good leg speed, he does find the footy. I guess the only thing that he needs to just fine-tune a little is his kicking for goal. Yeah,
it's been a little bit suspect right throughout his career, and also again last week where he got 5 goals, 3 and a couple out in the full, but he does get plenty of opportunities. But the one issue that is really upsetting Melbourne is Mark Porter dropping back, blocking up David Neitz, and the Melbourne midfield had plenty of the ball, but they kept kicking it straight to the big man.
Well, I think Watt, who's doing the job on David Neitz, and Johnny Baird as well, who's got another job on the tall forwards down there, have been good, nice and solid, but they really need Jeff White to start pushing deep into attack, use it as a starting point, lead away from him. But really, the Kangaroos have been a far more than impressive side. They've had good run from defence. Harvey got them going early in the piece, kicked the first couple of goals, and there's a lot to like about them.
Well, I think, as we said earlier, didn't know how to take their victory last week against the Bombers, as we see a magnificent torpedo punt go spiralling through. But tonight they're up against a side that were fanatical in Melbourne, and yet they are really putting them, making the Demons look second-rate. Melbourne have got a lift. They've been disappointing. They can play far better footy than this. and you'd expect a much more competitive second half.
One of the, I think the features of the Kangaroos, the first time I've had a look at them today, is their willingness to get that ball back into the middle of the ground. They seem to want to send the ball through the corridor as often as they can. And when we have a look at the score track up to half-time, they've kicked a lot of goals from inside that centre corridor. And I think that speaks volumes for Dean Laidley's game plan.
Well, it's amazing how quickly they've picked up on the game plan. We know there's a lot of Carlton supporters who are questioning how long does it take for the Pagan plan to take effect. Well, clearly the Dean Laidley plan has been put into action straight away. Players love getting the ball, love running, love receiving marks and possessions, and they've got some pace there and they're utilising their great strengths.
Lee Harding's got 3 on the board at half-time. It's the Kangaroos by 20 points. Stay tuned. Sam Newman will join Eddie Maguire after the break.
If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you go. Way up high or down low. I'll go wherever you go.
Welcome back. The Kangaroos by 20 points over the Demons. Going to be a very spirited second half in this quarterfinal Wizard Home Loans Cup finals match here at Telstra Dome. Membership board, here we go. Look at this, Kangaroos membership. Get on the line right now. 1300 36 32 31. You Kangaroos fan, you should be pretty happy with these young Kangaroos and Dean Laidley's coaching. 1300 36 32 31 for the Demons. Get behind your team. 1800 33 66 67. Maybe the fillip they need in this second half to know that they've got the crowd behind them. 1800 Demons. Let's go down to Michael Roberts, boundary side.
Yes, well, being the Kangaroos up by 20 points, it was quite easy to get into the rooms. And speaking of the doorman and just having a look around in the rooms with Dr. Alan Ayland in there, it is a completely different room with that Dennis Pagan at the helm. It was so much more relaxed. The youngsters are having a good word around. They are not petrified down there. They are so focused. It's incredibly, from the times that I've been down in the rooms, it is a completely different look and a different attitude, Doc.
Yeah, a bit easier this time of the year to be relaxed, but hopefully when they're up, they will be. Gary Moorcroft, guys, will sit out the rest of the game with a very heavy cork thigh up near the hip, but they're optimistic he'll be right for next week if Melbourne get up. They'll either be playing in the country or they'll be playing somewhere next week in Adelaide.
Doc Larkin's there, boundary side. The Kangaroos by 20 points. Gary Lyon and Gerard Healy looking forward to this second half of footy.
And an interesting point that Mick makes there, different feeling. Sometimes a change is as good as a holiday, as they say. Gary, new coach?
Oh, absolutely, and they are playing like they're out to impress a new coach.
Indeed they are. Porter, and they start well again, the Kangaroos. Anthony Stevens takes a bounce. I think you may hear some more news during the week about Anthony Stevens, perhaps fronting the tribunal at some stage as King marks inside 50.
For the charge, you reckon, Ryan?
I reckon he will. Absolutely. David King.
Well, the Kangaroos have started where they left off, and the one thing that's been impressive, Gary, is that from a tactical point of view, they've just grabbed the ascendancy from the word go, and they haven't let it go at all.
Yeah, they haven't been wasteful going forward, Gerard, that's for sure.
King lines up, beautiful ball. This is going to be a goal. King has done it and drilled it brilliantly. David King with his first goal of the night. Looking for something, couldn't find anything, so, well, I'll have a shot.
Well, it's a beautiful kick of the footy. We know that, Brian. They won the ball out of the middle well. Anthony Stevens had it again. Rather than just blaze away to the goal mouth, he did take the option of picking someone out, and on this occasion it was King. No matter the fact that he was out near the boundary line, they maintained possession, and they got a good result. Now, this game is even all over the field, Gerard, from a statistical point of view, everywhere except the scoreboard, and it's the forward line efficiency of the Kangaroos which is doing it.
Well, if you just look at inside 50, it's relatively even, but at the end of each year, the bottom side and the top side aren't too far apart in that. So it's a matter of how you take the ball in.
Stevens head over the top of the ball. We'll have another bounce. The Kangaroos out to a 26-point lead.
Bruce now gone to the half-forward line for Melbourne, picked up by Archer.
Umpire gives it a good hoik in the air as Motlop grabs it, tries to get out. Goes as far as Jess Sinclair. Little kick forward. Umpire said just the 15, and Heffen will take the mark and the kick for the Demons. Possession number 7 for the former Bomber. This is a bloke who has to get going tonight for the Demons to have any chance. White to Neitz. The two big guns combined, but not enough. As Archer tucks it under his arm. Out to Clayton at the fence of 55. Kangaroos come up the line, up towards centre wing. Good mark taken there by Leoncelli.
They've got to give it to Jeff White. They've got to get him into the play to drag Porter out and make him responsible for White.
Either that or White has to go and play on Porter at half forward and give them a genuine contest.
Leoncelli, the leading tackler for the Demons last year, gives it to Russell Robinson. And Robinson from well outside 50. Neat's got the sit here. Can the Kangaroos defenders do anything? The answer, no. Neat's eyes on the ball.
Well, he needed a good strong one grab. The captain, he got his hands to a ball probably a minute ago inside 50 and wasn't clean at all. So he just needs to go back and drill this for his own confidence. He's had a pretty lean game and a half, which is not the end of the world, but we'd like to see him start to hit his straps.
Young defenders can often get caught in the trap of looking after the elite players like Neitz and not concentrating on the ball, Gary.
He's been pretty good. Having said that, Brian, Shannon White, he's had a pretty good night.
This is a 37.5-metre run-up.
Directly in front. Look at that. You couldn't get any more straight if you tried, and the kick follows up as well. So Neitz, the captain, has got his first goal.
David Neitz kicks the first goal of the quarter for the Demons. It's a 20-point ball game again. Off the ground goes Ward, out towards the half-forward flank position. Teague gets to the front though and takes the mark for the Kangaroos.
Impressed in that position last year, Ed, and going on with a job so far in the Wizard.
Porter offloads the handball back to Archer. Stevens to King, has a bounce. Shepherd, good Shepherd too, as King goes inside 50. In the back or a mark, take your pick. And Travis Johnson will get it.
Very, very strong, courageous mark there from Travis Johnson. He's been pretty quiet tonight too. He's such an important playmaker in this side. He needs to find a bit of footy.
Johnson goes in short to Rigoni, brings it out to Jeff White. Starting to get amongst it now. The Demons looking a lot better in the last couple of minutes. White, kick up towards Neitz, takes it on the half volley. Almost took it on the half volley. Good play by Watt. Inside, pressure's on though. The Demons have got the chance here. The ball spills out wide. Walsh on the left boot, run down by Rawlings. Good play. Sinclair brings it out wide. Clayton has got plenty of time. He just needs the ball to sit for him. It does. Almost. Bizzle took on three and did it well. Still in there. Bizzle caught. Umpire says holding the ball. Well, that was a bit stiff, I thought.
Straight to him.
He made the play.
Did all the hard work, didn't he? And then just found himself outnumbered. And it was one of those perfect tackles where he had an arm pinned. He couldn't do much with it.
So Clayton has it on defensive 50. Goes backwards, so the umpire calls play on. Chance for Baird. He's turned it over. It's a shocker. Away they go. Rogers gets the handball going. Out wide it goes to Williams. Williams up to the square. Neitz almost drags the one-hander in. Here's Archer now to relieve for the Kangaroos.
In the back pocket, does it coolly. Poise shown by the experienced campaigner. Clayton now out of defence. The drilling ball to David King. King looking to move the ball on quickly. He now transfers play with a long, risky kick. Harding looking to get on the end of it. Somehow almost claimed the mark. McDonald did well to bring it to ground. Sinclair combining out wide here. Stevens driven into the ground. Still must tackle them correctly. Out wide, Motlop. The umpires paid the advantage here. Motlop to a standstill. Robbins. The Kangaroos trying to get something to happen in this third quarter. It's a goal apiece in this third quarter. And a standstill now as Robbins takes plenty of time. Waiting patiently. Umpire says, come on. Jones marks now, 65 metres out from goal.
Very crowded, Brian.
Jones on the left foot with a spiral. Harding dangerous over the back. Got a hand there, the Melbourne defender. White, eyes on the ball. Quick hands out. Harding lines up. Dragged off the balls he went to kick.
He's loving the talks.
Has kicked 3 out on the full so far tonight, leading Lee Harding along with his 3 goals.
May well have started as a drop punt, though, that one.
Well, feast or famine with him, isn't it? 3 out of bounds on the full, 3 goals, as Brian said. The ball comes to centre wing. Whelan's been very good tonight. And 50 metres. You've heard it. 11th possession coming up for Matthew Whelan.
Geez, it's a costly 50 because it puts him in contact with a chance for a super.
And that's what they will need, I would imagine. This is where the super goal does come into play. I mean, they are struggling a bit at the moment. They just need 1 or 2 to ignite them.
Wants to run around and have a go. He almost has his pants pulled down from outside 50. It'll be a super if it bounces through. Teague gets back, though, and takes the mark. So nothing at all as the ball now comes out. Baird just holds it up, waiting for Archer, waited too long. Chance for Bruce. Cam Bruce from the boundary line. He bends it back, but not far enough. Through for a point.
Three guys with genuine class in the Melbourne side. Bruce, Travis Johnson, and Adam Uze really have had no impact on this match, and I would suggest, Gary, that's the main reason why they're in such arrears.
Wonder how long it will be before we see a player step from inside the 50 outside, as in basketball fashion, for the three-pointer to get himself outside 50, whether someone would be arrogant enough to try that.
Long time, I'd imagine, Brian.
Makepeace, I thought early in the game there was an opportunity for one player to do it, and he thought about it, but he didn't act. As Makepeace on half-back.
This is the way they're going. Inside every opportunity, we saw it cut off there. It nearly cost them a goal. We saw David King kick 55 metres across goal to get it back through the middle of the ground. And so far tonight, it's worked pretty well for them.
Teague, Motlop and Harding all combining in this play. Over the top, Ward did well. Brought it to ground. Harding a little time to get back to his feet, but he's desperate for the ball. Smother attempt not successful. Ball out wide. Running for it, Aaron Rodgers, and we'll have a boundary throw-in.
Ed, you're a hell of a lot closer to the Magpie coach than anybody else in this box. Can you see a bit of the Magpie form here, the Magpie strategy?
A little bit, yeah, at times.
For the Kangaroos?
Well, you know, Dean Laidley was a fantastic assistant coach, so there's no doubt that he and Mick Malthouse have had long conversations over the last 3 years or so. And Robert Pyman as well, also in the box there at Kangaroo Land these days.
The trash talk involved in that tackle then, I think, as well.
Well, again, it's their tackling, it's their pressure and harassing that is causing turnovers.
Certainly the Kangaroos, as you said, not bombing long, looking to hit a target each time, and that's very much Mick Malthouse, not turning it over. Here's a chance for the Kangaroos again. Bizzle's there, under pressure. Did it well. Step two opponents. And the kick was pretty good as well. Cameron Bruce under pressure, just got it out. Johnson, the big name starting to come to the fore now for the Demons. And away goes Johnson. Two bounces through the middle of Telstra Dome. The kick was a beauty. Straight down the throat of Robinson. He turns round onto the left foot, looking for Nates. Slips catch required. Didn't come up. No need for the third umpire. It's taken away there by Archer to Clayton. Back to Archer, the 1-2. Inside comes Archer's handball. Oh no, Baird's turned it over. Johnson, the danger man, has come alive in the last few moments. The kick is a beauty, and Nates will line up, and the Demons are back in town if he can kick it.
Two Melbourne players in the goal square on their own. He didn't flip around, but, well, Jared, you asked for a lift from their class players, Johnston being one of them, and he just delivered on a couple of occasions. The run through the middle is exciting, and look, he's just got time, and, well, he didn't have that much time, but he buys himself time because he knows where to run and just got it on the boot before it was smothered.
It's been a smart move by Danaher, giving him some respite from the negative tactics of his tagger. He's put him across the half-back line, and he's just playing as a ruck rover across that half-back line. In fact, his man now, Motlop, is being taken from the ground.
19 points to become 13 if David Nates can kick his second consecutive goal of this game. He comes in, the kick is on its way, the Coleman medalist puts it right through, and the Demons are back in. We have got a ball game at Telstra Dome.
So just a 13-point lead now for the Kangaroos, with plenty of time left in this third quarter for the Demons to be thereabouts at three-quarter time. McDonald, Harvey, you can see the intensity has lifted just a notch or two. King wide, Morrell stretching, thought he could have been paid the mark. The umpire said no. Bizzle happy to see it and shepherded across the line.
And Gary, you made the point that Dean Lady has immediately reacted to Travis Johnson's impact by putting Shannon Grant on, who he has to be accountable for.
Well, he demands respect. If he doesn't play tight and close, then Grant will win plenty of footy.
Stevens knocked out of his hands. Desperate act by McDonald. Travis Johnston really in the thick of things over the last 5 or 6 minutes. Sinclair, Porter, got his own man, did Porter.
Sure.
Play on Teague. Simpson trying to work through traffic. Porter fast hands, allowed Teague an opportunity, but look at the desperation of McDonald. He's done that twice in the last 30 seconds. They've got players on everywhere. It's about use of the ball.
Except there.
And Makepeace is marked on halfback.
And that was about the only spot inside the next 40 metres in a very wide arc there that didn't have Melbourne players running free. In the meantime, Bizzle grabs it and runs. Here they go again. Up towards full forward as an ordinary kick, but it's fell fortuitously to Cam Bruce, who's gone mad and put it through. 7 points of difference.
Just a 7-point ball game now. The Demons have come They have kicked the last 3 goals in this game. Porter, all the heavies are in the midfield. Things going Melbourne's way. Leontelli gobbled up from behind. Umpire lets it go, even though he probably had some small prior opportunity.
I've got to say, James McDonald, he makes a massive difference to this side. He's had a lot of footy tonight, but his hardness at the ball is second to none.
Back in the middle. Tapped out underground. Clayton. Can the Kangaroos respond for the 3 straight Demon goals? Makepeace. Got a bit of room here now. Petrie through the midfield. Back to Clayton. Normally pretty good by foot. This is a low ball finding its target. Indeed. And Jones has got it. Just forward of half forward. Brent Harvey makes a lead. Traps it near the boundary line. He's 60 metres from goal. Tries to take them on. Sinclair. Poised here by the Kangaroos. They wait for something to open up downfield. Here's their opportunity. Williams chips in front of Grant.
I think what's going to be interesting, Gary, and I refer back to Dennis Pagan again. He goes to Carlton, he asks what's going on. He says he's trying to teach them a brand of footy that will stand up in September. Now, clearly, this is a different brand of footy for the Kangaroos, and what's going to be interesting tonight, if Melbourne can continue the pressure, is whether the short passing game stands up.
McDonald up towards White, who's got into it this quarter. Bit of push and shove with Petrie, bit of slapping going on.
Well, Eddie, we just mentioned earlier, I mean, you had to wonder where their heads are at, this Melbourne side. As James McDonald has a spell, that's reward for effort, nothing less. But, gee, they've been a different team in the last 15 minutes.
White got the tap, but underneath it was King, who's going for the big 9-pointer! Goal! 9 points to the King!
Super goal, Jeremy, and that's a fair slap in the face. That's not a bad way to stop an onslaught.
It's a perfect way. It was a great shark from a Jeff White tap, and really I think they'll look back at this and say, Whitey, if you're going to go the big knock, you've got to smash this, you've got to crunch it.
Guy Rigoni was, I think, David King's opponent on that occasion, and you just saw him drop the head there as King sharked it and off he went. It's a terrific response. It just buys them a little bit of time and a bit of space and settles them down. They've been under a lot of pressure.
Second goal from David King, and one of those, the last one being the super one. Porter, Rawlings, Simpson. The Kangaroos have responded at a critical moment in this third quarter when the Demons were gathering great momentum. In the middle, Harvey deploying it out there to Sinclair. Kick forward, Jones in front nicely. Support there in the front and centre from Clayton. The handball over the top to the running Jones, can't keep it in. 5 minutes remaining in this exciting third quarter that has seen a total of 5 goals kicked so far.
Both the Kangaroos goals coming to David King. One a conventional 6-pointer, the other a 9-pointer on the run there to just break up a 3-goal run there by the Demons. Looked like they were getting on top of the Kangaroos. And of course, that's the great thing about this innovation in the Wizard Cup this year. The extra 3 points for the outside 50. King looking for a free kick. And getting one.
Right here. Go back that way, Kingy.
So David King this time will only be eligible for a 6-pointer.
Can you believe it?
Certainly made the most of it. There's a crazy John mobile sign there as well.
That's one of the great swallow dives from Kingy.
Tell you what, if it goes through for a goal, it'll be crazy Neil, it won't be crazy John.
Kangaroos 59 disposals this quarter, far in advance of Melbourne's 36, so 23 more disposals for the quarter, boys. That's the equivalent of about 3 or 4 good players.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And well, David King, what will he do here? I think he's the sort of player to have a pen.
He's outside 50 with the kick. It won't make the distance. Up they go. White flies. This time he gets contact on the ball. That's a 3, is it? No, it's a 1. Fair enough, too. He's punching the ball.
With a contested situation, they're going to give you a little bit of leeway there.
Bizzle out wide. Kangaroos have got numbers there. King involved in the play again. There go the Demons. Russell Robinson's come down from attack to help. His kick is poor, and Grant is marked on. True centre wing at the Telstra Dome. Swinging ball into the middle, found Rawlings. Able to run, deliver to Sinclair on his favoured left side. Outside 50, looking for the super goal! He has nailed it, Jess Sinclair.
Oh, only given 6 here. And they're asking a question.
That was definitely, I thought, without seeing a replay, outside.
Super goal for mine too, Brian. I'm pretty sure he had his foot grounded outside the 50. Let's have a look at this.
This is an historic moment. BT's called for the third umpire.
Hello.
If they go down by under 3, the Kangaroos.
Well, they should change it. They've got it up on the scoreboards here. Let's be honest.
I think
they
it's
should
been
change
legislated.
it. Well, common sense should legislate.
I don't think the third umpire's in, Ed.
Well, that is one where there definitely should be a third umpire, because you've got time. You don't have to start the quarter for any reason. You've got plenty of time on. There's no reason to start it until you have a look at the scoreboard.
Well, we should put a hand up here, Ed, and just call it from here ourselves.
Well, it should. Well, the Kangaroos have been jibbed 3 points.
They have, and here come the Demons. Back into attack. We'll hear more about that shot on goal, I'm sure, as the game progresses, especially if it gets tight. Rawlings, Watt, running, attacking player out of defence, through the middle of the ground. King backing back.
Right.
Godfrey did well. It was nice. Gary knocked it down to Williams. Able to take off. Now Whelan's got space. The defenders close in. One is Archer. The shepherd by Uze was good. Bought a little time for Whelan, and Gary, you're right, was a ripper. Walsh probably should have got 2 hands to it. Now he's under the pump. Makepeace. Ball socket off the ground. The Demons attack at Robertson. Teague comes through and relieves pressure nicely.
Out to his at the Simpson, the best and fairest, the vice captain of the club. The kick is a beauty. It's on to Hale. Gives it off. Here's the excitement machine, Daniel Wells. He runs inside 50, kicks, and it's gone through touched. Bizzle just got a fingernail on it, through for a point.
Gee, some exciting footy there, but Melbourne made a mess of it up the other end. Aaron Rodgers chose to bump a player, I think it was Teague, rather than tackle him. Unforgivable. Nearly cost them a goal. Wells unlucky not to score. They've weathered this pretty well, the Kangaroos.
Bizzle looking for a man. Rigoni inside. Chance now for the Demons to spot one up. Robertson's the man. Up he goes one-handed, but 3 Kangaroos at the fall of the ball. They can raffle this one. It finally comes out to Clayton. Simpson and Clayton combining. Now Clayton runs out wide. The kick is a good one too, and the mark is being taken out there by Jones. 10th touch coming up. For Corey Jones had a good night, the boy from Bendigo, taken a pick 60 in the 2000 draft. Played 7 games last year from defensive 55. He kicks up the centre wing, and the kick wasn't a good one. The mark has been taken there by Ryan Ferguson, Frankston recruit in his first season at Melbourne. Got a good bit of size about him as well. The kick comes out to Wheatley. Haven't seen much of him after his historic display last week with 2 super goals. Demons working it through. Here's Wheatley this time. He gives it a good thump up towards the goal square. Neitz is the man, but they're getting plenty of tall timber back.
Yes, and not good selection from those delivering the footy. I mean, you've got to look up and see that Neitz is outnumbered 3 or 4 to 1 and caught behind. Well, you've got to be composed enough not to kick it there.
Teague, here they go, the Roos down the middle. It opens up for them wide if he can get it to Rawlings. He went wide instead of straight down. He was under pressure. Simpson gathers, closing in, less than a minute. Sinclair marks.
It's been an impressive display just of maturity since the Kangaroos were put under pressure. They have stabilised. David King, of course, got that 9-pointer. They were robbed of another, but it's just been, I think, a terrific experience for the Kangaroos to just withstand it. And they should, you'd expect, go on.
24-point lead to the Rouge. Short ball finds Clayton.
They did it well, Jared. They put numbers back as if to say, righto, we're under the pump here. Let's buy ourselves 5 minutes and see if we can't get a goal and turn it around, and that's what they did.
Clayton to Grant. Grant, Kangaroo players probably not aware there's only a few seconds left in the quarter. They know it's getting late. Simpson over the top. Pays the mark. Running into trouble, Grant. And the quarter-time siren sounds. So Melbourne came with a bit of a bang in the middle parts of that third quarter. They kicked 3 straight. David Neitz got 2 of those. Bruce got 1. But at 3-quarter time, Ed, the 24-point lead is still with the Kangaroos.
Well, the Kangaroos have only got 1 9-pointer there, 1 super goal in their column. So too Melbourne. But as we go to the break, let's have a good look at Jess Sinclair here. That is clearly outside 50 from that angle. And just to make sure, we've got 300 umpires out there.
Remembering you have to be behind the line when you kick it. Of course, one part of your body, doesn't it, have to be behind the line?
He was nearly 1.5 back with that one. Have a look at that. That was a 9-pointer all the way. And Jess Sinclair, he knew it. He was very happy. It split the middle. And there you go.
Is it where your foot is, Ed, or is it where the ball is struck?
It's where the foot is,
Where your
I
foot
believe.
is. Doesn't matter. All the above was the answer, except for the umpires who've missed it. And there's something for Andrew Demetrio to have a look at on Monday morning. Let's go to the videotape, because if it's a goal...
the red and green button up here, wouldn't you? And say,
you can have a look at the scoreboard, because it doesn't matter. We'll take a break. We'll come back. The Kangaroos lead by 24 points right after this. Wizard Cup action. As you can see, Neil Danaher's all fired up. He's with Michael Roberts.
Certainly is, and well, Travis Johnson flashed in, and so did Cameron Bruce. You want a bit more out of those players. You got back into it, Neil.
Yeah, look, their intensity was superior to ours in the first half, but there was just a few signs that quarter that we're matching them in that area. Hopefully we can continue with that and kick some early goals to put a bit of pressure on the game.
The Kangaroos dropped a few back when they were under siege and got back in the game. They got a 9-pointer, and well, you have to steady now.
No, we just got to attack the game. We've got to get goals and get them early. Cheers.
Good luck.
Thanks, Neil. Neil Danaher with Michael Roberts. And unlike Channel 10, we promote both sides in their memberships here at Channel 9. Kangaroos membership hotline. Get on the line now. People ready to take your call. 1300 36 32 31. Don't complain if your team's running out of dough. You've got to get in and support them. Demons membership hotline. 1800 33 66 67. As we start the final quarter, it's the Kangaroos leading by 24 points.
White and Petrie go at it in the middle. Petrie, a little bit undersized. Whelan. The cut-off, Motlop. Handball long to Harvey. An opportunity. Point of the square. Daniel Wells on the lead. Couldn't control the ball in the air. Pressure from Ward was good. Handball out the back door to Walsh. Cool. Ragoni able to get control of the ball. Send it out. Now the Melbourne club have a chance to go forward. Look at this. Wheatley runs.
Jeez, how far?
Looks for a handball. Nothing on. Gives it back to Thompson. They fiddled there a bit. The Demons probably should have gone long when uncertain what to do with the ball. And the Kangaroos retain possession. Free kick, the advantage paid, Simpson. But now it will go back because the umpires are not aware of what was happening.
BT, as Wheatley was charging down the outer wing, Baird was just dropping back to cover Neitz, and he's almost, Gary, playing like a floating centre-half back.
They've got an extra number down there at the moment, Jared, and they have put that to best use all night.
Teague held the ball nicely, allowed Sinclair to fan off to the side, and he's got the ball now. Jess Sinclair's been a very good running player tonight.
He's had a great night.
That wasn't such a good kick, but it was good enough to find Harvey. Oh, nice play by Baird off the ball. He absolutely took his opponent out there in Godfrey. Good, solid attacking play there by the Kangaroos. Over the line out of bounds. Look at that one.
Protect the ball carrier very well, they have, all night, the Kangas.
Throw in. 55 metres out. White did it well on that occasion, just got it away. Wheatley, McDonald, Bizzle. Now they're starting to run the Demons. Young player there in Ferguson. Gets the ball out. This is Lamb. At half-back flank. He has to get rid of it soon. He does. There's no one much up at this stage of the game, though, boys. They get it to half-forward, and that's where it stops.
It's been the difference, Gary. The Kangaroos have got the defence and the numbers back and forced Melbourne to go wide. And often they've lost the ball, whereas the Kangaroos almost to a kick have tried to come inside.
Well, they've owned the corridor tonight, Jared, the Kangaroos, and they've had that space all night. And as you say, Melbourne haven't been able to kick up a gear and run through that line and get it to Neitz, who's been deep in attack.
Watson got a kick away there for the Kangaroos. Over the top of the ball was Williams. He's held up. And the umpire will bounce on centre wing. We believe there was a bit of discussion as well at three-quarter time between the umpires in regards to What do you think, boys? Was it a 9-pointer?
Make no mistake, they realised.
So something for Andrew Demetra to have a look at on Monday. As we said, boys, if it goes through for a goal, you've got all day to have a look at the video to make sure. Here's Wheatley.
There is a very kind gesture of you, Ed, to be the sole adjudicator on every Collingwood game as well.
Well, it's very much. Well, I'm biased, as we all know. The ball comes out to Harvey. I'll do the job tomorrow for you. Motlop does well, gets the ball out. Whelan over the top of it for Melbourne, has tried hard all night. Archer, as always, hard at the ball. Look at that, up and down in one motion. Beautiful play, then flicks it out the back. That was fantastic football. The ball comes out to Harvey now on centre wing for the Kangaroos. Looks up, has a lead from Wells, decides to take that lead on, puts it straight down his throat. In fact, it was probably a bit too solid. Over the line and out of bounds. Let's get into the doc, who's been talking to the umpires. Pete.
Yeah, spoke to Gavin Dorr at three-quarter time, Ed. They're well aware of Jess Sinclair's goal being a 9-pointer, so they're just praying it's not going to be a 1, 2 or 3-point result tonight.
Boundary throw-in takes place. White fighting for it. In amongst it, Watson. Handball out to Grant under enormous pressure. Harvey. Kick along the line. What a smother there from Godfrey. Grant gets it back. Makepeace. Fast hands. Watson had to get rid of it. Out the back door. Grant got the loose player in the middle in Teague. Marks it forward to the centre circle. Booming kick. Brown on the end. Can he mark? No. Wheatley responds at the ground level. Kicks it out wide. Baird. Rigoni. The taller Baird. Working for him there. Teague. Archer combining well. The Kangaroos go forward again. Wells had rid himself of his opponent, but Ward got a hand there.
I agree with you, Jared. We should have retrospectivity in these pre-season games and wind the clock right back to 1980. That was the final siren before Kerry Good got that ball.
Daniel Wells there, former Mandurah boy, my old hometown. As we see the boundary throw in the Kangaroos forward 50. Simpson marked by White.
Doing it pretty well here, the Kangaroos. I think we knew that Neil Danaher, after his interview at three-quarter time.
That would have been 3 points. Johnson.
It would have been an interesting ruling, Ed, because it was hardly have been intentional.
And flummoxed. Whelan. I'll tell you what, they haven't had a free possession, the Demons, I reckon, this quarter.
Been great. They've been harassed all night, the Demons, by the Kangaroos.
King kicks it to Wells. Nice handball inside. The two youngsters combined. Watson into the open goal and has slotted it through. Looks like the Kangas are heading to Adelaide.
30-point lead for the Kangaroos. 6 minutes played in the final quarter. The Demons would have to do extremely well to be competitive at the end of the night from here. Motlop, brilliant evasive skills. Simpson, Harvey combining. Back to Simpson. Knocks the ball forward. Makepeace was always there in support. Handball further afield. They go long. Petrie. The kick to Wells. Couldn't control it.
He has only been a centimetre away from it, Daniel Wells. A couple of occasions he's had hands to it and it spilled out. On that one, the ball just dropped short. He presents well. He's shown a bit without even getting it, Jared.
Pretty impressive.
Looked good last week too, Daniel Wells. How do you do that, Gary? Show a bit without actually getting it.
Well, as soon as I said that, I thought to myself,
Can't do that. Who's
I thought.
Uze held onto his man. Here we go. The Kangaroos reload again. Petrie in the centre of the ground.
In the middle, always into the middle, Eddie.
And out wide they go. They open up. This bloke has really come into his own tonight. He's still got a little bit to do, John Baird, but at least he's getting hold of it and getting a bit more confidence. Inside 50 for the quarter, by the way. 6 Kangaroos, 0 Melbourne.
I think what's blatantly clear from today, Gary, is if you're going to play the Kangaroos in the main season, you've got to be prepared to run. They have got as good a group of midfield runners as just about anybody in this competition. And just on that play with Baird, he's playing at fullback on David Neitz. He's prepared to run up to the middle of the ground to take a midfield possession.
Well, you will do that if you know where the footy's going to go. And once you can see it unfolding in front of you from a backman's point of view, you will take off and run because you know that you're a chance to get a hold of it.
Guy Rigoni with the ball at half-forward flank. Kicks inside the 50. Neitz wrestles away. White jumps. Fall of the ball was Godfrey's kick was a good one. Gives them a chance, the Demons.
Back to the three-quarter time margin, 24 points. Time left there. There is enough for the Demons. White, Simpson, Godfrey, handball, here they go. Uze will bang them inside 50. Neats!
Well, you get a couple of goals, and as Jared has alluded to, you tack on a super goal, and it would be unjust, I would imagine, if the Kangaroos were to lose it from here. They've been the better side tonight by far, but we have seen teams are capable of scoring goals quickly, and this Melbourne side are one of those sides.
It's really that Nietzsche has found himself one out against Watt, and that time the quick kick out of the centre exposed their defence.
To make it an 18-point ball game and 3 goals to David Neitz. He did it brilliantly. The Demons are coming. They are full of steam and ready to play.
We had a look at that when that ball was balled up or bounced in the middle of the ground, Jared. We looked at Melbourne's forward line, and Johnny Baird had positioned himself 20 metres in front of David Neitz and his opponent. And I just thought, well, you know, they've got to win the game. It's going to be very hard. But you see that it went over his head. And as you said, I mean, they should be working super hard to make sure that Neitz has that one-out opportunity.
Baird's still there, some 30 metres out from the goal. So if the kick comes, it's got to be a long one over his head. I'm not sure why they haven't manned him up at all, Gary.
No.
So 18 points the difference, which in this competition is only 2 straight kicks. 2 super goals required for the Demons. North Melbourne, of course, a chance to set up what would be a tantalising semi-final if, of course, W. Carey plays for Adelaide next week at Amy Stadium. Here's a chance now for Simpson for a super goal from 55. He thumps it long. Digby Morrell put one hand up over the line and out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. And don't forget, the footy continues on the 9 Network. The Footy Show back in business, 9:30 Thursday. Exclusive interview with John Elliott. Followed at 10:30 by Ron Barassi, 50 years, a legend. The tribute there, fantastic night held here at Telstra Dome a couple of weeks ago. But the John Elliott interview, I can tell you, is an absolute cracker as Shannon Grant has a shot at goal with his right foot and puts it through for one behind. Boys, he has plenty to say. We've already done the interview. I won't give too much away, except to say Carlton fans and football fans in general should not miss it at all.
Ward to Whelan. Whelan, Baird, the spoiling defender, Walsh. Kept the Demons in this play at least. Petrie was desperate. Bundled the ball out the back to Lee Brown. King. He'll be important in this last 10 minutes. If the Kangaroos are to hang on, Grant. Scouting for the loose ball in the forward 50. Jess Sinclair. Let's go. High fly, Clayton. Couldn't mark.
Free kick.
Umpire said he interfered with 50 play and 50 metres.
Well, he's right in front of the Kangaroo cheer squad, so perhaps Shannon, Shane Clayton didn't hear, but he would have known it was a free kick when he jumped on his shoulders. So
it's just a bit stiff. It wasn't Gavin Dorr down there giving that decision, because I think he would like to see the Kangaroos kick a little bit clear.
Oh, come on, Jared. Can't say that, Ed, can you?
Well, I think Jared's meaning the 3-pointer. The 9-pointer, Jared. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think Gavin Dorr would like to see this result beyond the 3 points that may well have...
Exactly. Could be very dangerous, this, if the Melbourne side could get a couple extra points. I wonder if Alan Aylett might sue them for loss of earnings, if that's the case, the umpires. They could be in a bit of trouble. Here we go. The Demons are back in town. Neitz takes another mark, kicks 3 in a row to the Demons. They're back in at 12 points.
13-point lead for the Kangaroos. It's dwindling. 3 successive goals for the Demons, 2 by Neitz. He has 4. Kangaroos attack. Lamb in amongst it. Johnston gathers. Dishes off to Walsh. Has a look up the line. Nothing on. Can I bring it back down the corridor? No.
Kick.
So I'll go to McDonald, who's back on for his last run. He's played quite brilliantly tonight, McDonald. Kick short to Bruce. Interference by Sinclair. Bruce got the free. Kick inside 50. Neitz won't get to this one. Fly in front, Robinson. Handball to Neitz. Baird under enormous pressure. Handball back off. Teague kicked it straight to Godfrey. Marks. Umpire said it didn't travel 15. Play on. Kick downfield, punched away. Kangaroo defenders are there in numbers.
Travel more than 15, yeah. Must have been touched.
Great defence by the Kangaroos, getting numbers back, and a cool kick under crisis from Grant.
And a beautiful kick from Brown up towards Watson, who takes the mark and takes off. Good football. He kicks up, but there's no one there for the Kangaroos. Away goes Ferguson now. Here's a chance for the Demons. They're lining up inside the 50. Ferguson holds onto the ball too long, too far. Travel, says the umpire.
Whew. They just need to be composed here because they've got a lot of numbers behind the footy, the Kangaroos. That's a better kick.
Clayton will take the mark and does inside the centre square. Around the body. Kicks it out in front of his teammate David King. It cleans bowls a lot of them. It spills to Harvey. Bit of bad turf there from the Kiss concert last night. King under pressure. Handballs over the head of Clayton, but they've still got the numbers. Clayton squares it up to Grant. Grant trying to pinpoint somebody inside the 50, decides to go long. Melbourne have got the numbers here. Up they go, and the mark's been taken by Ferguson. Away they go now, the Demons. It's 13 points to difference. 7.25 minutes left in the final term. Plenty of time as Bruce goes out wide and finds Uze. Couldn't hold the mark. There's a chance for Simpson now. The best and fairest from last year kicks inside off the hands of the pack. Vital play here. Harvey's the man you want with the ball. Little toe poke. Good play by Ferguson, and Melbourne clear.
Ward. The Demons out of defence. What a game we've got for you at the moment. 13-point advantage to the Kangaroos. Wheatley with a good ball by foot finding White. Not sure what to do. Johnston, White combining for 1-2. Back through the middle of the ball. Kick goes to Neitz on the lead. Couldn't hold it. Might have been Heffernan involved in that play in the middle. It was. Spinning out of the tackle. Watt. Off hands. Baird. Here he goes. Got the loose man out wide. The best and fairest winner of 2002 was Simpson. Out wide to that man that Gary called Grant. Kick wasn't good enough to find him. And we'll have the boundary throw in. 13-point advantage the Roos.
You just know this is going to be a 3-point game, don't you?
There will be one man very happy to see another goal kicked at the other end of the ground of the Demons.
Boundary throw in. Wing half-forward position for the Roos. Simpson doing the ruck work. Off hands, but Stevens gets back and marks defensively. Kick forward to Simpson. He also marks too far out to score.
Experienced players coming to the fore now for the Kangaroos. Simpson, Grant, and of course Stevens, the captain.
Simpson, a driving kick inside 50. Got the sit here, has Brown. Brown works his way to the front, traps the ball at ground level.
Oh, this will be interesting.
Ward. Did he take it through for a three-pointer? No, just the 1 point.
Ferguson's had another pretty good night on Lee Brown. Lee Brown has just had the 8 touches.
Demons not panicking at the moment, which is a good sign. They must hit a target. Up they go. Whelan taken under the ball there by Archer. Good play. Archer goes to ground. Whelan keeps his feet. He handballs off. Here's Robertson inside. Melbourne through Lee and Shelley, starting to build now through Jeff White. He can run all the way here. There's a 9-point in the offing. Handball over the top. It's been smothered. It might be just as well. It comes out now to Heffernan. This is 6 points. Ends up with 1.
Wasted a lot of opportunities, Gary, around that 50 or 60 metre line. The distance out from goal has just created a lot of indecision for Melbourne players.
And Jeff White on that occasion running forward had Neitz one out. Neitz has kicked the last couple of goals. I mean, you just go out of your way to get it into his area.
Kangaroos have been magnificent from full back tonight with the kick-outs. Once again, they've got it to the centre of the ground, or centre wing at least, without a player being within 10 metres of the ball carrier. Same again. Makepeace now at centre half forward. All uncontested marks. Clayton's broken clear. He was on the lead. Makepeace goes the other way. Here's a chance now for Johnny Baird. Takes it. Around the body. Does well. Awkward bounce for Bizzle. Set up a little while, but Melbourne now can reload and counter-attack.
Here they go. Liancelli. Out wide. Heffernan. A bounce.
No one there.
He can have another one. He takes Makepeace on. It'll be the driving kick from the wing. In fact, he goes short and finds Whelan.
That's good for
the Demons using the ball forward, Gary. Handball on the Walsh. 60 metres out. Kick, centering ball, Neitz to danger. He flies. Porter in front, worked it down, Stevens. But his kick was under pressure. Robinson couldn't hold the mark. Needs to do it at ground level. Get the handball off, he does. A flying shot here, Heffernan. Could have had the 9-pointer. Went inside. Neitz has got the sit here. Tries to nudge Watt under. Not successful.
Phew, I tell you what, the tactics are great when they're just outside the 50. Do you go for the 9 or do you set it up? The Demons in the last 2 attempts have set it up when quite possibly they could have had a ping. Doesn't matter. It's the Kangaroos by 13 points at the moment. Inside 4 minutes, as you can see. They'll need to do something here, the Melbourne side, but the free kick, as you've heard from the boys, goes the way of the Kangaroos to Digby Morrell.
Clint Bizzle it was that's done a good job on Lee Brown. I think I said it was Ferguson, but Digby Morrell's just come onto the ground and he contests well, so they need to be pretty composed here as well, Jared, and take their time, know that their numbers have been behind the footy, try and set something up.
Morrell's kick is an ordinary one, and the Kangas will be happy for it to go over the line out of bounds.
The inside 50 stats for this quarter, Gary?
Well, for the game, Jared, it sits at 41 Melbourne, 45 the Kangaroos, so I'll get the exact quarter stat for you.
Because I reckon Melbourne has dominated this game to the defensive, or they're attacking 50, and they've just haven't been able to put enough score on.
Demons need to get something from this foray. Liancelli gets it out. In the back, free kick to the Demons. Godfrey will take it. Now, you'd think this might be the last chance. They need to get 2 goals. The Demons, certainly a 9-point and a goal. Robertson flies from behind. Porter did well. Uze around the body. No one home, though, for the Demons. And Clayton gets back on defensive 50 for the Kangaroos.
So time running out for the Demons. They trail by 13 points. Clayton has possession in the defensive half of the ground. Sinclair wants it in the middle. But you get the feeling Clayton is looking for the kick. Conservative along the line. Goes short, kick off the ball, a Melbourne kick. Robinson was
against Lee Brown, Brian.
Did you see that, Gary?
Well, I just saw the final bit of it, which let's have a look. There it is.
Now this is a 9-point play.
Markers inside, and the relayed free kick down. So Liancelli will line up and kick it out of bounds on the full. That was an opportunity missed.
Well, that's where it works against you, isn't it? I mean, you've got to know your limitations, and not sure whether Andrew Liancelli was a legitimate chance from that position.
Well, Clint Eastwood rule. A man's got to know.
2.5 minutes remaining. 13-point advantage for the Kangaroos, and you'd think they'd have it in the bag now. Short ball, and they're going to retain possession. Remember, they cannot kick it backwards without the umpire calling play on if they're looking to wind time off the clock. So they have to be careful of that. This one goes to Harvey. That's just forward. So the umpire pays the free kick. Now he says play on. Harvey works it out to the city side of Telstra Dome. Brings it back in, looking for Grant. A couple of bounces. The speedy Brent Harvey on his way, wants to take them all on. He does. Good solo effort, but he ends up without the ball because Ward stepped in the path. Walsh, last gasp effort here for the Demons. They have to get control of the ball now, and they won't. Ball over the line and out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
And when you look at the composition of the Kangaroos list, Gary, you look at the Kid Watson and Wells, they're going to be so difficult to beat on the fast track here at the Telstra Dome. It, I think, suggests they're going to have a pretty fair season.
And that's Watson there around the body. Good mark taken there by Lamb. Bit of a chop there. Umpire's having a word.
Your arms down. Arms down. Back here.
Flight's hanging on to you. Should have a fair whack, shouldn't you, boys?
Very authoritative voice there from Brett Allen.
No manners from the
No manners whatsoever, Brian.
Regoni runs forward. Last gasp for the Demons. Needs to
I tell you what, game on here.
9-pointer.
9-pointer on. He must kick it, though, because, as you can see, the time is a-ticking.
And he'll stop the clock as well, Ed, if he does kick the goal.
So here we go. 9-point attempt. He's kicked 4 goals tonight, David Neitz, the skipper. Goes for the torpedo. It's a shocker. Now, why wouldn't anybody be forward of the ball there?
Yeah, well, that is a question that needs to be asked. But why did David Neitz kick a torpedo punt? He's a massive kicker of the foot. He probably tired legs towards the end of the game, might be the reason. But I would have thought that he was a drop punt chance from there.
Sinclair short, Rawlings in the back pocket. So you would think now the Kangaroos are certainly through to the next phase of the Wizard Cup.
Good effort from this side. A new game plan, Brian. They've come together nicely.
Indeed they have. Rawlings takes a bounce and gets it out wide. The 13-point margin, I don't think will change from this point in time on. The mark taken by Corey Jones, who's also been very lively up forward. 2 goals to him. As the clock winds down, the Kangaroos are home. Kick out wide, Teague. Been a solid contributor as well. Kangaroos have been full of vigour in their opening 2 games under their new coach, Dean Laidley.
And that's a $25,000 result for the Kangaroos tonight, because next week's loser gets at least $50,000 as the last bomb of the night goes forward. So $50,000 at least for the Kangaroos. Melbourne take $25,000 thanks to Wizard Home Loans. And, well, we have got the Kangaroos journeying to Amy Stadium next Saturday night to take on Adelaide. And will it be the first clash of Wayne Carey versus his old side?
Yeah, the focus immediately, Gary, after this great effort by the Kangaroos, will go on to the hamstrings of Wayne Carey.
Well, it'll be interesting, won't it? If any doubt, obviously, they wouldn't risk Wayne at this stage of the year, but, gee, it'll be add a little bit of urgency to the contest.
Let's go down to Michael Roberts, who's with Jess Sinclair, who was a fine player tonight.
Yeah, Jess, we're standing just outside 50. It was up the other end, actually. You had a ping. Now, was it a 9-pointer or not? Now, don't hold back.
Yeah, I think I was robbed there, mate. Had a quick look at the replay, and I think I was just outside, so it doesn't matter. It was a goal anyway. So
now, what was going through? You paced it out, you had a good look at the line, and then you thought, I'm in here, so you had a ping?
Yeah, that was exactly right. I thought I'd a couple of metres in front of me, so I had a go, but oh, well, maybe next week, hopefully I can get one.
Now, the midfield, you crushed them. You used the corridor beautifully, and that kept you in the game tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. I think we're using the ball a lot better now, and you know, we're not so predictable anymore, going long all the time. So we're chipping around, everyone's sharing the workload, so it's working well. Right?
And a little spooked. Neats jumped in there with a few goals in that last quarter. They hit back, and he had a chance to have a big thing, but they fell away, Melbourne. But you deserve to win tonight. Yeah, well, they're a fit side, Melbourne. Knew they were going to come back in the last quarter, but to our credit, we hung on and on to the next round now. Now you've got Adelaide in the semi-final. I didn't know that. I thought we had them down here, so it's going to be another challenge, and hopefully everyone can step up to the plate again. Very interesting. Well done, Jess.
Good on you, Robbo, there with Jess Sinclair. The word out of Adelaide today is that Carey won't play, but you never know. It might be a good way to get it out of the way early in the season rather than in the big stuff.
And I think there'd be some benefit in that, Gary.
Yeah, well, I was thinking initially when it was floated that it probably would be better, you might want to hold him back, but that's a good point. Take the sting out of it, get it out of the road. All the anticipation then is, well, sated, but then if something happens, it might make it even bigger.
Never know. I mean, they do anything to pump up a crowd in Adelaide. They go to hotels and punch on with each other from opposition clubs. But don't forget, immediately after we hear the Kangaroos song tonight, Gary and Gerard will wrap up proceedings here at Telstra Dome before we head over to the World Cup, India and Pakistan. What a game this is going to be. They haven't played since June 2000, so it's a much-awaited clash. Of course, we know the rivalry between Pakistan and India, and if the Pakistanis lose, they are out. No chance of making the Super 6 stage. India currently behind Australia, second behind Australia in Group A. So it's a vital game, and it's going to be an absolute beauty. Australia takes on England, of course, tomorrow, and on the line, Australia could become the greatest one-day team in history as far as consecutive victories are concerned, with a win over the old enemy.
Pakistan v India, who are you backing?
I'm going with India, Gary.
Who are they backing?
There is not.
That's the big question, isn't it?
There's not going to be a lot of sleep out over the next 48 hours for cricket lovers.
49 more disposals, the Kangaroos tonight over Melbourne, which is fantastic news for Dean Laidley, because his style of play, instead of the old Kangaroos get it and kick it to Carey, is now a lot more possession orientated. And their 49 disposals, what's the equivalent of 3 or 4 good players? Let's hear the Kangaroos song. Dean Laidley has 2 wins from 2 games as the new coach of the Kangas.
This can take some time.
They're waiting for the coach.
Let's get on Daniel Wells, see if he's got the words down pat.
Just waiting for the coach to come in here. Steve-O's pretty happy with proceedings, and the Kangas will head over to Adelaide next week.
Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne.
was getting dizzy as that went round that camera. It's getting longer and longer, that Kangaroo song, every year. But why not? They get to sing it, and they sing it well too. Well done to Anthony Stevens and Dean Laidley. The Kangaroos are home tonight by 13 points. They meet the Adelaide Crows at Amy Stadium next Saturday night in the Wizard Home Loans Cup semi-final. Winner goes through to the grand final. Gerard Healy and Gary Lyon will look back before we head over to the World Cup of Cricket, India and Pakistan. That's coming up right after the break.
And it's the Kangaroos who have successfully negotiated their passage through to the semi-finals of the Wizard Home Loans Cup. It was 13 points at the end of the night. A pretty impressive victory too from the Kangaroos. They were challenged by the Melbourne lineup. If you have a look at the goal kickers, Lee Harding, 3 goals in the first half. David King had a big 9-pointer that probably turned the momentum around. David Neitz kicked 4 goals, singles to Robinson, Bruce Godfrey and Rogers. So the Kangaroos are through. This man would be pretty happy, I would imagine. Glenn Archer joins Michael Roberts.
Well, Arch into a semi-final, Amy Stadium. Very interesting person who might play over there. Gee, it bills for a good game.
Yeah, it should be a good game. Not sure if Wayne's playing or not. He's been injured. But, yeah, either way, it'd be a great game.
Take him on.
I won't be. He's a kick my ass all the time.
Cross half back tonight. You love that freedom and running off the ball, and your midfield did very well. And you kicked goals when you really had to. You had to settle.
Yeah, we did. We got caught into a bit of a trap probably halfway through the third quarter there. We were mucking around too much with the ball. But the boys settled, and Kingy and Jess kicked great goals. Jess kicked them from outside 50. They got that one wrong. Did you see it?
Yeah, got it. We got it. And just the fact that you came home and did the right thing at the right time was the most important thing with the game plan as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, we mucked around with the ball for a while, but late in the last quarter, when it was getting a bit closer, the boys started to play the percentages, which was good to see, so especially the young blokes as well. Just
good luck in Adelaide.
Yep, thanks, Robbie.
Glenn Archer there, very honest man, Glenn Archer. But there is the Group A draw, as we say. It's Adelaide and the Kangaroos next Saturday night at Footy Park, one semi-final. Group B will play itself out tonight and tomorrow, of course. Gerard, the Pies take on the Hawks. Who are we liking?
Oh, I think you've got to go for Collingwood. They were last year's runners-up. And Hawthorn, of course, with the mail is that Shane Crawford won't be playing, so it's a big omission. And
Geelong and the Brisbane Lions tonight in Cairns. You're liking the Lions up there, I'd imagine?
I'd imagine so, but Geelong also impressive. I thought what was most impressive tonight, Gary, was just the way the Kangaroos kept going. I think it gave credibility to their victory last week against the Bombers. And they're a pretty impressive outfit so far.
They are indeed. They are through. Congratulations to Dean Laidley. We're going to hurry off, Gerard, because the World Cup of Cricket continues. It's Pakistan's last roll of dice up against India tonight at Centurion Park. We hope you've enjoyed yourself here. Good evening.